Hello, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. I am joined here with critic Al, and unfortunately, Fandad could not make it tonight as he's catching up with friends. Lad is there to, but still have fun. And Inside Man hopefully will be joining us soon as it's held up, and hopefully Beardy Beerbro will join us as well. And yeah, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, it's fucking stupid. But it's fun. It's fun.
This film knew exactly what its target audience was.
Yeah,
and
video game
it
nerds
made itself for them. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and plus you're older than me. Did you ever play these games though?
Yeah, I played. I played the first 3, I think, and then I sort of skipped out when it got really, really bad, and then came back in for the good stuff. And then obviously had the new, more modern remakes as well, which were pretty good. So I probably played about 80% of the Tomb Raider games.
I played them as a kid, but I don't think I ever completed them because there was always times where, because the amount of times I was just fucking dying by rushing and not being patient enough. I was a very impatient kid. So,
well, like we were saying before we came on, in the old days, you couldn't just run up to the edge and jump. You had to go up to the edge, take a step back, and then jump. It was all, and your tank controls, and she steered like a bloody cargo ship. So the frustration in the old days was
the old tank controls, didn't she?
I did complete at least a few of them. I completed the remakes they made, and I definitely completed the first and second game back in the day. I don't know if I completed Final Revelations or not. That was on the Dreamcast. I had that, but yeah, I mean they were good games, back in the day, and it was back then. It was very refreshing to see a woman in that kind of role, like Lara walked, so that things like Uncharted could run basically. And a load of games,
they're definitely. I mean, you can definitely see. Well, Uncharted is basically Indiana Jones and Lara Croft as well, and Lara Croft is basically taking its lead from Indiana Jones as well. It's all, and it all goes back to those serials from the 30s, wasn't it? That influenced George Lucas in the first place. Those swashbuckling serials.
Exactly, yeah, and they just they were very, very smart, and they put a sexy woman in the role, and it was just like, well, it didn't matter at the time that it was very crude and made up of like loads of polygons and stuff like that. The fact that Lara actually had a personality and was what we would call a strong woman before that became, a very different phrase, helped a lot of gamers,
Oh yeah,
as much as people go like, oh, she's just her tits and everything like that. She was a good, she was a good character. She was independent. She was fierce. She was wealthy. Smart,
she wasn't perfect as well. She's kind of this like adrenaline junkie who just loves going on the adventure. She loves the danger. She's a little crazy.
That was a great thing. I mean, now they're talking about making her into a bloody activist who's like, oh, I need to give the indigenous people their treasures back. It's like, no. That was never Lara Croft.
No, she was kind of in it for herself a little bit, but she still had a bit. She was still good at heart, though, wasn't she? She wasn't. She wasn't this money hungry, fucking power hungry maniac. She just liked the thrill of the adventure, and that's it.
It was all about the thrill for her. She was, she was an adventurer. It was as simple as that.
Yeah, and she was also very smart as well. She knew her history, everything, like theories from the past, stuff like that.
Her father was an archaeologist as well, so she'd sort of learned the trade off of him, which is something really, really nice. That rather than having a typical male or son character that learned all these things and learned the trade, it was a woman, and it was very, very unusual at that time. And Lara does a lot of things that you would say are masculine, but she does it all in a very, very feminine way.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel like she's trying so hard, does it? Because we've seen this lately in the latest movies and fucking games, and a bloke would talk like that, a fucking woman wouldn't. But when Lara Croft does it, it still manages. It never compromises her character or as a.
No, I mean she knows how to use her feminine wiles.
And that's exactly why female lead characters have to be sexy, especially in stories like this where they have to deal with bad guys, and they have to sneak in places to try and get the information they can. It's because it's like female spies back in the 40s. The best spies were always the women because men would easily open up to them.
Yeah, well, that's what they used in World War II all the time.
Yeah, feminine
You know,
wiles, the femme fatales.
Not saying that women don't have other talents and women don't have more than that to offer, but men are at the end of the day very, very simple creatures.
Oh yeah. We just want to shag a fucking hot woman. That's it.
Well, I mean, more or less, it's keyed into our very DNA at a primal level. That
Oh yeah.
it's what keeps the human race going, kind of thing.
We're on this earth to fucking dominate. That's the whole thing, and shagging women is one way of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just but I mean, Tomb Raider was a very cool thing, and I knew plenty of girls that liked playing Tomb Raider as well. She was a good role model. Women wanted to be her. Do you know what I mean? They didn't have any problems with her being who she was.
Oh yeah, I think I was in love with Lara Croft as a kid. I didn't care if she was something made out of fucking polygons and binary code. It was like
it was a posh bit of totty.
She was real,
Lady Croft.
Yeah, and she had many other voices as well. I think Rona Mitra voiced her as well, and I think in Tomb Raider 2, was it?
I don't remember actually. I do remember thinking that Angelina Jolie didn't quite get the voice right. She had a good go at it, but she didn't quite get it right. Her British accent is a bit patchy.
I didn't think it was that bad. I don't know. I mean, when I hear Americans try and do English accents and they sound a little bad. Angelina Jolie's was the one that I thought, okay, that's not too bad actually.
It's not awful. She kind of goes from Cockney to posh bird quite often.
Yeah, I'm just going to close that window. I can hear the cars fucking whizzing by.
I'll put it down to her vocal coach. Whereas Daniel Craig's American accent, on the other hand, I was actually really impressed by. And I don't know if any Americans in the chat can just put me right and say that was shit, but I actually was quite impressed by his accent. British is harder to do without sounding like a Cockney. Have to ask Dick Van Dyke, wouldn't you?
The thing is, we've got the new one coming out as well, and I am actually looking forward to Hayley Atwell playing the role, but I think she's going to get fucking ruined in that.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, mate. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is attached. It's going to be a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, Lance has even mentioned this on his stream. She's in with a lot of fucking people. It's a case of who you know.
Yep.
She's been in with these elite schools, with these elite people that, despite having no actual proper writing talent, maybe for one show, and that was Fleabag, she's just being pushed by the right people.
100%. She has the correct politics, unfortunately, or exactly. If not the correct politics, she says the right things to people who ask about those politics. If you know what I mean. So if somebody says, "Oh, what do you think about this?" she knows what to say, not to get her ostracized from that particular, that particular circle. And I mean, failing upwards is used as a term, and I can't say that.
So many people failing upwards. I mean, it really is. It's like you can only succeed if you act like a fucking dumbass or talk like a dumbass, and sadly, that's not happening to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite funny, wasn't it? Because somebody put up on what was it? It was on X, and I don't have an X account because basically it's a cesspit. I might be making one for my channel.
Yeah, I'm getting tons of fucking leftist shit on my feed, even with Elon Musk in charge.
I'm worried that basically, if I went on X, I would just spend 8 hours a day telling people to go fuck themselves. That's the problem, because I don't do particularly well with social interaction anyway. Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of thinking.
Just promote your stuff. That's it. Talk to the people you already know, and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah, try not to interact too much. But yeah, there was a post, and I can't remember who it was, said like, "Oh, name one thing better than or more important than diversity." And I think it was James Woods who just went on there and it's talent.
Yeah, God bless James Woods. I fucking love that actor. I've always liked him. I've always liked him as an actor. He's a
good actor. Yeah, I mean, he's just old enough. It's like Clint Eastwood, just old enough not to give a fuck. What are you gonna do? You can't cancel me. I've had my career.
He's 94. He's 94. He's got to be 94 soon anyway. But he's still doing it. He's still killing it with the fucking movies. He's still another movie directed.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of his appeal, to be honest, is that he just he just wants to make a good movie. Like he flat out just doesn't care about any other point. Just doesn't care about it.
Yeah.
Like you've got was it Mel Gibson's just announced or started a non-woke studio, him and somebody else.
I've been hearing that a lot. It's not one of those sites that's just fake news, is it? Because I had the
No,
same
it's not
thing.
because
Mel Gibson, Mark Wahlberg are starting a
that's it,
non-woke
Wahlberg,
studio.
yeah, because Elon Musk's just donated a crap load of money to it.
I hope that's real then. I do hope it's real. But I've been seeing stuff like that a lot of times. I've been seeing it. Tim Allen's starting a non-woke studio. It's
there's so much rage bait out there, isn't there?
But yeah, thanks for Nick's.
To be honest.
I know. Thank you, Nick, for joining us, and thank you, Junk, going out and Beardy Bro, pop on. I've sent you the link, man.
You're on the wrong bit. Get your ass in here.
Yeah, outside. Yeah, Lance as well. I don't know if you want to pop on if you like. Just message me in the comments, and then I'll send you the link. Jay Goodwin. Yeah, this has the best jiggle physics of any of the Tomb Raider games. Yes, because they actually exist.
Yes,
and if you're lucky enough and fucking charming enough, you probably will get to play with them.
Fun facts about the film is Angelina Jolie's breast size was too small, so Lara Croft is allegedly a 36 double D, which seems very large for somebody who does a lot of back vaults and swinging from poles. You'd think she'd just slap herself in the face constantly. So
yeah, I think that's why. Sometimes just let video games be video games, because if you get a real person and do it, it's not going to look good. In the video games, it looks good because it's not too realistic looking.
Yeah, I mean, and with Angelina Jolie, they did try going that big because obviously she wears padding. She's Angelina Jolie's a 36C. I didn't know this automatically. I'm not that creepy. I looked it up. Is that less creepy? I'm not sure. Anyway,
I think we've all stooped to that level somehow. We're all low lives. We're men. We're low lives.
Yep, red-blooded males. They tried working Angelina Jolie up to a 36 double D, and it didn't work. So they decided to go back down to like a 36D, which looks about right in the movie. And as I say, this film knew what its audience was, and it gave them enough to satisfy them, even if it did cut out all the nude scenes that got filmed because they wanted to go for a lower certificate. So, whatever else you say, this film knew its audience, and that's why it made a crap ton of money.
I know, because, like I said, because half the time you just need a good, silly film, don't you? And
this film never pretends to be anything else. Not for 1 second does this film turn around and say, we are changing world, we're saving gay lives or anything like that. This film's just like, this is a hot woman running around, taking, kicking ass and taking names, basically. And we're like, yeah, cool. Everybody it's like when you go in Fallout and you're playing the game and the little reaction comes up saying, true, Nix, everyone liked that. That's what Tomb Raider was like. She's like, yeah, everyone like that. That's fine. Nobody has a problem with this woman running around and kicking ass and taking names. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's just a fun film. You got sometimes an action movie with a fucking cool hard-ass man is cool, but when it's a very sexy woman and it's done in a way that's believable as well, even if it is a little unrealistic, you can still. It's almost enjoyable because now not only are you watching a really cool, entertaining film, but you got a really lovely lady to look at as well. It's like it's almost like a good hangover movie.
She's not, she's very athletic and she's very, very good at fighting and all that kind of stuff. But even so, there is a marked difference between something like the action in this and something in the action in modern movies where they are literally destroying blokes that are twice their size and stuff like that. It's done in a more I don't want to say intelligent because there's not that much intelligence about this film, but it's done in a much more realistic kind of way, the fighting and stuff like that. The scene where she's on the bungee cords and she's jumping about, she's not, and then she's running around the room and stuff. It's all pure fantasy and what have you, but she's not just going up against 8 dudes at the same time and just beating them all in a fist fight. So I think she's a good feminist icon. There's people now with the current wave of feminists who are like, oh, she's too sexualized and stuff like that.
The only time she bad talks to the blokes is the ones that are actually fucking assholes. She bad talks to Daniel Craig's character because he's kind
Yes.
of a mercenary archaeologist, isn't he?
Well, she's disappointed in him, isn't she? Because she she knew him by looks of things.
Yeah, and
You know,
they've always had this sort of like on and off relationship because
exactly. And she's
because
sort of like,
he is kind of a fucking he will take the side of anyone who pays him the money, and she kind of does have a little less respect for him because of it.
Yeah, exactly. And Daniel Craig hated doing this movie, which is why he didn't return for the second one.
Yeah, I know, because I kind of kissing that as well because you get Gerard Butler in as this old flame of theirs who's also a bit dodgy as well. And
yes,
it's been a long time since I watched the second one.
Does Lara?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched the second one, but I remember it just being okay, but nowhere near as good as the first.
Yeah, it was. I think that's the one where the mansion blows up. I've got a feeling the mansion blows up.
Watch it again. It's been a while.
Yeah, no, I've not watched.
It was the games for me, Nix. It was the games for me, Nix. And Blood Toxic. Everybody, I think every fucking lad my age was obsessed with Tomb Raider, and I know it's nothing like the game. It has still got hints of the game that still are a little bit faithful. I mean, The Last of Us had some good moments, but it just ruined Joel and Ellie, in my opinion. And Fallout, it was all right. It did take liberties with the lore, but it looks like it was actually trying to give us a good show.
Yeah, I didn't mind Fallout. I thought Fallout benefited from having a couple of very, very charismatic actors.
Yeah, Walton Goggins, obviously.
Ella Purnell and oh God, what's his name? Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins, yeah. Ella Purcell, she was she's very likable as well because she actually wanted to get this right, and
that
made me
adorable in it, mate. No. She really is.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Fallout. It was flawed, but the way I described Fallout was basically in a sea of shit. It was like a nice shallow oasis.
It was, yeah, because I mean we've already got real bad fucking video game adaptations like the latest Resident Evil shit. And
oh God, I don't even know how they got away with calling that Resident Evil. I really don't.
We don't want to see Spartan's face. We like the mystery. That's what made him so cool. The helmet is fucking awesome. Don't lose it.
Yep. Adds to the mystery of it all, and they just ruined it in seconds.
No, he just looks like the cat. He looks like the kind of bouncer who's just looking for an excuse to bust my fucking jaw just by wanting to go into the club.
He kind of reminded me of like a discount John Berthentile, I think his name is, from The Punisher.
Yeah, no,
I always got that kind of vibe from him.
Yeah, and even he pissed off the audience as well, and it's like, mate, you obviously don't know the fucking game. Shut up, don't talk, stay off Twitter. You've just made it worse, and now I'm not getting another series.
Yep. Now your series is cancelled, arsehole. Fuck you.
But yeah, I think we'll head into the film a little bit now because
can't wait for him forever. I'm sure they'll join us at some point.
Yeah, they'll pop in, and I hope he does. He says he's running late, but it's London as well, so he might be a bit fucking late.
It's Christ, yeah.
But as we start, it's like you kind of wondering what the fuck is happening. It's like she's in this like temple here as well, and there's this little weird mirror-like thing, and and then this fucking big robot just start, and she's really rocking the fucking outfit. She looks it. It's a bit more darker than what you saw in the games. It's not like
yes, and that was done by Angelina Jolie because she said that the darker coloured outfits accentuated her shape, her body shape, for want of a better word. Better.
I do not disagree. I agree. So
you've got Angelina Jolie to thank for that, yeah?
I know. And then you're wondering what the fuck is this robot coming out? I mean, come on, robots in temples, that makes no fucking sense. But
Simon the Robot.
Yeah, Simon the Robot, named after the director as well.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah, so who the fuck directed it then while Simon West got fired? It's
he got he directed the movie. Obviously he wasn't first choice. I mean, it went through so many writers and stuff. You know, the pre-production for this was hell. But he filmed it, and then it was in the editing phase because there was originally a 2-hour, 10-minute cut of this movie, and it either didn't test well, or the higher ups just went, no, fucking, no, they're not going to watch it. And a guy called Baird, Stuart Baird, I think it might be, was brought in to edit down the film, and he was promised that basically if he did that, he would get to direct Star Trek Nemesis, which was a little bit of a poison chalice, I suppose.
Yeah, and that kind of destroyed that universe of Star Trek, didn't it?
Finished off the Star Trek movies for a little while. And he came in and edited it down, and basically him and Simon West disagreed a lot, and Paramount just turned around to Simon West and says, nah, fuck off, mate. We don't need you in this process anyway, because we've got this editor. But then when they ended up having to do some reshoots, they had to call Simon West back anyway.
So, yeah, they didn't fucking like that, did they? Jesus.
Well, the thing is, it's probably in his contract at that point, so you know.
Yeah,
there's a hell of a lot of this film. There's a hell of a lot of this film that's never been seen. Like there's a good sort of half an hour to 40 minutes of footage that just never saw the light of day. And apparently, Simon West did do an edit, a director's cut, with all that stuff in it, and they said no. And I think that's one of the things that kind of fucked him off, and he went, no, you know, screw you guys then. I'm going home, Cartman style, you know.
Yeah, if it's like an extra 20 or 40 minutes, then maybe it's best we will stick to the theatrical cut, because even though it's a little all over the place at times, you know, it's still well paced, and we still get the character straight away. And
I mean, it may be that there was material in there that, you know, he was trying to like make some kind of grandiose film with loads of themes and messages in it, and it just got in the way of what the film needed to be. So,
all by the same guy who did "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley. It's
yes,
yeah, he directed that, and Con Air as well. And I actually do like him as a director. I liked Expendables 2 and The Mechanic as well, even though it's not as good as the Charles Bronson version. But I do like it. I do like it. We're still seeing Lara Croft do a lot of the athletics and jumping around and spinning like in the video games a little bit, but it doesn't feel like weird like in Fallout, where the dog's injured and the stim pack just makes him alive, makes him feel better straight away. It's like, the dog got fucking stabbed. That's
I mean, you know, Angelina Jolie's putting in all of the she's putting in the work. She did a hell of a lot of her own stunts. There's lots of her grunting and sighing, and you know I think she was good for the role. I really do. I think she was very good casting. They tried to get Charlize Theron. They tried to get oh god, what's her name? Denise Richards, and they all turned it down. Kirsten Dunst auditioned for it. She was turned down. Mila Jovovich auditioned for it. She was turned down. And I think they got it right with Angelina Jolie. I really do. I think she was the right mix of athletic. You know,
she's not like
skinny
as well, isn't she? Because Kirsten Dunst and Mila Jovovich and Charlize Theron, I think, should be very good, but they look a bit small, don't they? They're a little bit more.
They do. I mean, yeah. Can you imagine Denise Richards in this role? She'd be tiny.
Yeah, and Angelina Jolie, like you said, she's got a little bit more of a build on her, but at the same time, it's not like real fucking mannish. But
no, she's athletic.
Gina Carano, even though Gina Carano actually looks good with a little bit of weight on, it's
still quite leggy and stuff, you know. So I think Julie, and the thing about Julie, she did put a lot of effort into it, and
she did like yoga, everything, kickboxing, fucking weapons training with real
it's probably still the one that she's most famous for, and I don't think you can begrudge it in any way. I think it's fair enough. I think she did a good job.
I know, and it's still a fun little scene. It's kind of just there to hook you in a little bit as well, just sort of like
yeah, the CGI looks a little bit ropey, I will say, but
there's a few times, but they still look like they put more work in than the stuff at Marvel. You can still see a little bit like reflections on it and everything. Right. The shadows are right. It's the light hits it just right in the areas where the lights are shining. It's
Marvel CGI is like next level bad. I remember watching the Captain America 4 trailer. Was it Brave New World or whatever the hell it's called? And there's just almost like a matte shot that's been done by computer, and it just looks so fake.
I know, it's like they don't put effort in. I mean,
even Deadpool Wolverine has downright dodgy CGI in it, mate. Really,
even if the CGI looks a little dodgy, I mean, you still got to put some work in, like have the light bounce off it in the right areas, the right shadows, or a little bit of reflections if it's something shiny. It's
well, the thing is, your brain just automatically spots that it's not right. It's actually very hard to fool the brain in certain ways, because
it's an illusion within
the
an illusion.
Lighting doesn't look right, or something. Just, you know, your brain will just go in the back of your head that doesn't look real. And unfortunately, quite a lot of this film is like that. But as I say, Marvel still can't get it right 25 years later or 23 years later, so I can't really say too much.
Oh yeah, I think Inside Man was on about that as well. I mean, they don't treat their fucking visual effects artists with any.
Oh, it's farms. It's
Yeah.
farms. It's literally like dudes.
They're like battery farms for chickens, aren't they? That's
and
it.
the worst thing is, because of the way that Marvel make films and they don't previs or anything like that, they're constantly getting these animators to make changes as they're making changes to the script. I mean, Tomb Raider started filming without a script.
Yeah, it's
why
Daniel Craig more money down the drain. It is. I think that's why. I know there seems to be a good time for independent movie makers now, isn't it? It's a good time for people who can shoot movies on their fucking cell phones now, because they aren't restricted by the fucking DEI crap that's happening in the bigger companies. Though they probably might have a bit of a hard time with some distributions. I don't know. Inside Man will probably know.
Also, with the rise of AI and assets and things like that, they will be able to make these films. And one of the problems with Hollywood is just how predictable things are. I saw Twisters last night, and as much as I enjoyed the film, and I am going to do a full review in it, so I won't talk too much, it was as paint by numbers a film as I've ever seen in my entire life. It literally seemed to be the kind of film where if you put like different plot points into an AI algorithm generator, it would make that film. I was literally predicting lines of dialogue. That was how, by the numbers and predictable it was. And it's kind of a shame, because a lot of these independent directors have probably got some very, very good ideas. And, hopefully they'll get a chance to show it.
This is happening now as well is really fucking scary, because we were warned about this fucking 40 or 50 years ago now. I mean, some of us even before I was born as well. It's and they're still allowing this to happen. I mean, do you not watch these movies? They were warning you about that shit, and it's gonna go wrong. It's gonna go fucking wrong. It's
oh, for sure. At some point, I mean, at the moment, let's bear in mind that at the moment AI is effectively nothing more than a search engine.
Yeah, not the moment. For now,
amalgamates them into one thing.
But it seems to be learning pretty quickly, though. I mean, look at
now. Exactly. Yeah, that's for now. It's early days. So,
it's learning. I mean, look at those 1950s trailers of those Batman trailers set in the 1950s AI.
I saw the one I saw the other day.
Yeah, they look a bit wonky in places, like the cars sort of blare and split like the atoms have been manipulated. But those are going to get better, and it's going to look more real, and we're not going to be able to tell what's real or fake. And that scares me a little bit. I am not going to lie.
It will be interesting times in the years to come, put it that way.
Oh yeah, we'll probably all be fucking obliterated into fucking chunks of human skulls showered all over the floor by then. Who knows?
With any luck, Judgment Day, come on, bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring on the fucking asteroid. It's gone to hell. We had our shot.
Yeah.
We're talking about
this is practical though, obviously, and back to using a bit of practicality with the CGI. It's good.
I mean, they built a rig. It's just obviously it couldn't make the movements that they wanted it to make.
Yeah, it's just little moving parts, isn't it? When you see the full thing, that's when it's CGI. It's like the Raptors or the T-Rex. When you see the full thing on screen, it's CGI, but when you see the head, it's a puppet.
Yeah. It's a puppet, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things about CGI. I always feel that CGI should be used to enhance a scene. It should not be used to create a whole scene, because it can't do it properly.
Yeah, they're too reliable on it now. Way too reliable. And our eyes recognise it instantly, because it just naturally trains, because we're able to sort of notice when things look a little off now. I mean,
as I say, all it takes is for a little bit of lighting to be off, or for a shadow to be wrong, or something like that, and your brain subconsciously will just go, that does not look real.
I know. And I don't like this bit where she laughs after as well, because I mean that sort of indicates, she's a little crazy. She's enjoying this. She's having
fun. She's in it for the thrill, man. She's a thrill seeker.
Yeah, she is, and that's why we kind of like her. And but they don't make her totally selfish and mean
This is why in the new version she's going to be an activist.
Oh yeah. She's going to be fucking. She's going to be unbearable.
We're going to make her into an activist, returning indigenous treasures and shit like that. And I was just that's not Lara Croft, and that's not Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I'll probably just edit the fucking scenes where it sounds like she's saying, where Haley Atwell is saying something dirty, put them all together, turn off the visuals, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna fucking care about the show with.
Well, they're talking about doing it in the video games as well, aren't
Indulge in
they?
my own
So,
sordid fucking affairs.
unfortunately, Tomb Raider is another one of those things that probably can't exist in the current partisan
I know, and you
activist
think it
world.
would as well with all the feminist shit, but no, she's not. She's not narcissistic enough. She's not fucking self-absorbed enough now to
Exactly.
be
She's
part of
not the
that crowd.
right kind of strong woman, sadly.
I know. She's the wrong kind of fucking
But
yeah,
with
wrong fucking
Toxic
strong
saying
woman.
like early 2000s Angelina, all I can say with that is Gone in 60 Seconds with the white dreadlocks.
Oh yeah, fuck
Just
yeah,
going, fucking hell, mate.
yeah, yeah. She had a bit of a fucking career as well. She was doing well with the Bone Collector, which I need to
Yeah,
watch again. It's been a while. It's been a while.
she
It was a
owned the
good
early
book.
2000s.
Yeah, and she has
Oh,
shown
goes
to be
up.
a good actress. And I think, and yeah, this is when we found out it's all training, and it's the whole thing
Yeah,
she's
it's
looking
just all
for is just a
boys, isn't it?
CD. It's a funny little moment as well. And it
Yeah,
makes sense, and it makes sense to her character as well. She's the type of fucking nut job that would do this kind of thing. Just have
yeah,
herself
I
nearly
can't
killed just to
remember
put a
because
CD in
obviously
a
this was
robot.
2001, and I can't remember which film, which game had come out by 2001, but they did eventually incorporate this kind of stuff into the games as well, didn't they? Literally,
Yeah, they did a little bit, and it's just sort of didn't work. I mean, let the
I
game
prefer that
version
she
be the
had
game version and the movie version be the movie version. It's like James
yeah,
Bond. We don't need the movie version to be 100% faithful to the book version because they're totally the same, but at the same time, they're very, very different as well.
yeah. I mean, I remember like in the game, you were running around. I think it was a gymnasium. You know,
Yeah,
like she
yeah,
had a
oh yeah,
converted
yeah.
gym and stuff like that. She didn't have a danger room like the X Files.
I know, and we didn't have this guy in the games as well. The original games from what I can remember, it's just
No, not
hair.
at all. No, he wasn't. He's a new thing. And I'm pretty sure this film has the word bugger in it more than any other film ever made.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Like you
the
could tell they were
It's
going
like
for the
Goodfellas and
PG.
Scarface of bugger. It's like
Like, what can we get away? What swear word or curse word can we get away with using? Oh, buggers.
yeah, he
Buggers
said
very,
it more
very
times than
British.
Paul Whitehouse did in the Fast Show. Remember that sketch where what's the name of his character? He's this old man and bad shit's always fucking happening
Yeah,
to
I
him,
can't
and
remember his
it's
name
like
now.
it's
Yeah,
one
the
of the
Paul
cruelest
Whitehouse
fucking
character. That's
recurring
so good.
sketches, and I love it.
Bugger.
Oh, boogie.
Oh, that was one hell of a show, the Fast Show, man.
Oh
Oh,
god, that was funny. It's so fucking good. I love it. I watched them. I watched them on YouTube a lot. The fucking uh the stop motion animated sketch as well, where it's just would you move his hand just a tiny bit more, then we move his other hand a tiny bit more, and it's just going on, and he seems fascinated until tiny bit more just starts to wear thin really fucking quickly, and he's like,
yeah,
"Fuck
it's
this,
just
I'm
like,
on to the pub."
boring. I remember the artist who goes mad as soon as he starts painting black.
I can't remember that one.
That
I have
one.
to
It
watch
was
it
this
again.
artist. He's painting up. Oh, lovely little country scene. Oh, no, no. Oh, look at these trees. And I just need a tiny little bit of black for the shadows. Black, like my heart. Cold,
Yeah, now
dead
I remember.
heart.
Now I
And he
remember.
starts
Now I
trashing the
remember.
fucking
Oh,
things,
fucking hell, that's funny. That was funny.
going,
Yeah, I
going
remember
off
now.
on one.
And this actor here, Nor Taylor, though, is yeah, I think this might be the first time I saw him in something. And I actually thought it was like an actual comedy actor, but I've seen him in other stuff, and he can be mean and nasty in other roles when he needs to be. So he's definitely a chameleon, this guy.
Yeah, he's not bad. I mean, in this, he's got a very silly role, but he's not a bad actor by any means.
I
You
know
know,
he kind of seems like one of the more grounded people in this, isn't he?
yes. I mean,
All right, Lara Croft was just looking for some person who wanted to do all this fucking crazy shit for her so she can get a little adrenaline rush. And she probably took to him a little bit as well because of how blunt he is, because he doesn't seem to mince his words either, does he?
No, not at all. No.
No.
I mean, it's an added character. I didn't like him all the way through, but they did their best with him. You had to
Yeah,
have a cast of characters like this. These days, he would not be in it.
and I
These days,
I don't think he's the most. Yeah, he's not the greatest
lesbian.
fucking comedy side character, but he's he's
He's all right.
likable enough, and
Yeah,
yeah,
he's all right.
I like the
He's like
actor as well. He plays it. Yeah, he plays it with with enough genuine realism to
he's
make me
like a
relate
very
to
toned down Rob Schneider is the way I would see him.
him. Yeah, yeah,
Thankfully,
yeah. Rob Schneider's a bit more broad, isn't he? I think he's not
Rob
like that
Schneider's
out
a bit
there.
more annoying.
He's just amusing. He's just an amusing guy. You know?
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, he works in the context of the movie just fine.
Yeah, and he is good at his job as well, and he is very loyal to fucking Lara. And
Yeah, well,
this bit here where she
he's the
says,
guy
"Was
in
it
the chair,
programmed
isn't
to
he?
stop
He's the
before it took my
text.
head off?"
He's
Yeah, and
he's the tech guy. He's the guy in the chair. So yeah.
yeah, was it programmed to stop before it took my head off? And he's like, "Well, no, but you did say make it more challenging." And yeah, and that's why he used the live rounds despite his protests.
Yeah, poor Simon.
Yeah. I know, and he seems to have great affection for this thing as well. Because he's like he's a tech guy, isn't he? Of course, he
Yeah, he's
builds
even got
something
like
that
robots in his bed and stuff. So
I know.
I'm not going to judge.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that that he never sleeps in the mansion and he has
Yes.
plenty of opportunity to. She's giving him permission, sleep in the mansion, have a nice,
Yeah.
beautiful room, cozy room that's always clean with good scenery. And he's like, "No, I'll stay in the trailer." He seems to enjoy roughing it. You know, he feels more at home when he's in something a bit more low level and not so
Yes.
highbrow.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
And then you got Chris Barry in one of his very,
Yeah,
very, very few film roles.
yeah, God, yeah, he's a little bit likable. I would like to have seen him be more of like a father figure to Lara, but he still
Yes.
manages to be just likable enough, and he's not.
Yeah, he's
Once again, he's
likable enough,
not.
and
Yeah,
he's largely played for laughs. But
yeah, it's not big laughs. It's not the funniest,
no, he's not. They
smartest
don't like take the
one-liners, but
piss
he's
out of him
very.
relentlessly like they would these days for sure.
Yeah, but he is giving it just enough to still make you fucking like him and want to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
think he
care.
works really well in the kind of butler role. To be honest, I really
Yeah,
do.
and he
Kind of
looks
stuff.
nothing
He's
like
doing a
the
little bit
butler
of
in the game.
Britass there. He's doing a little bit of Rimmer there, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely brings Rimmer there a little bit.
He's very good at it.
The
Fun fact
British,
though,
Mr.
he was
British.
not the original person cast to be the butler. Do you
Whoa,
know
was
who
cast
was?
then?
Martin Clunes.
Martin Combs. I kind of see that a little bit from Backland anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could do it now. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Martin Clunes. But because he would have had to work on his wedding anniversary, he turned it down.
Yeah,
Because he's got a
inside
rule
man's here,
apparently.
but inside man's here, but his device is not working. And yeah, Beardy Bro can't make it because he thought he was he thought he was just here to watch, but no, I invited him on, and he can't make it because it's Friday and he's only free on Mondays and Tuesdays. So okay, feel free to watch and chat if you want. There he goes. Here he is, man. Here he is, inside man. There you are.
Hey,
Yeah, you're not so
Hello
late. We've
there.
only just got to the beginning. It's just after the training scene with Lara, and that's it.
Yep.
We're just introduced
10
to
minutes in.
Right.
Yeah.
In answer to your question,
Right.
Lord Toxic, I think her accent's as dodgy as hell. I think it veers from posh English bird to Cockney roughly every 8 minutes.
I disagree.
It's not terrible,
I don't
but
think
it's
it's that
rough.
bad. I've seen worse. I've heard worse, to be honest.
Oh god, yeah, but she's not right in my opinion. But,
I think she's pretty convincing. I do. I think she's pretty convincing.
But you do get to know a little bit more about her already as well. I mean,
can I reverse the question? Actually, sorry, real quick, real toxic.
Yeah.
What do you think about Daniel Craig's American accent? Because I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I actually thought it was American because that was my first time seeing him in something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was as well. But I would like to think that it was him being fucking naked that got Barbara Broccoli to think, let's put him in James Bond. But no, it was the Elizabeth movie, wasn't it, where he played like an assassin?
Yes. If only they could have kept some good writers, it might have been all right.
Mm. But yeah, but we do get to know a bit more about Lara Croft in like 5 minutes already. I mean, she's an adrenaline junkie. She's a bit of a free spirit, and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but nobody's turned around and said it. Nobody's gone, "Oh, Lara, you're such an adrenaline junkie." We can tell from her actions. Which, while I wouldn't say this movie is
they seem to recognise that she does have her limits as well. She's not going out of her way to fucking make life hell for him. So
no,
she keeps it straight. She keeps it straight away in the training area, and that's it. You know, she. Yeah. And she's obviously done this whole thing with Simon loads of times as well with the live rounds, and it's already you're getting a little bit of history between these characters, even though you already know a little bit from the games. You introduce something a bit new as well, because this is definitely its own thing while still taking inspiration from the previous.
It's definitely based upon, isn't it? I mean, you've got the mansion. She does her somersault. She does her wall runs. Overall, the newer Tomb Raider movie was a better adaptation of that game, but it kind of sucks as a movie, sadly. So
yeah, I know it's Alicia Vikander is a good actress, and it's actually not a bad actress and stuff.
No, not
but
at all. Not
I
at all.
know, and Walton Goggins as well as the villain.
Yeah,
Come on, man!
It should have been great. But...
He's such a good actor, and I thought he was wasted in that role. He was really wasted. See, it was like Ant-Man and the Wasp all over again.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, really fucking wasted in that movie. It really pissed me off. It does. This don't piss me off. This is I must have paused this scene a couple of times as a fucking horny teenager because I was getting
lots
on
of
there.
lads with their joysticks in their hands back in the day.
Yeah, and obviously, once again, we're
filmed,
seeing a little bit more of a relationship.
Nude scenes, lots of nude scenes. But they all got taken out because they wanted to make the film PG and not R-rated, I guess. Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you ever get to see those Inside Man?
No. No. See, it's funny because I mean it's something that I was going to mention on the Band of Brothers stream. Funny enough, at some point, but I never really got round to saying it. And it's one of those things where when you're on something, you're not necessarily on it for everything. You may not necessarily be on it for the duration of the entire shoot.
Yeah, because I mean, you've only just because
it's a kind of a weird situation. So you might only be involved in
certain sets and things like that.
And
so you don't get the full picture of the movie until it premieres, do you?
Yeah.
Well, no, even the actors don't. I mean, the scenes are shot out of order. They probably don't have that much idea what the final story is going to look like. They're just
some of them don't even know the fucking script either. They just get given the lines, they say them, and that's it. To get the direction.
Well, this film started filming without a script.
It's funny because on my first day on set, and I was talking to one of the crew, I won't say who it is, but it was somebody relatively prominent, and I said, what's the story? And they said, well, it's a series of quite interesting action set pieces, tenuously linked by a very, very thin plot.
I think that's a good description for the film.
And they said, we'll leave it there. So right, okay, fair enough. I'm being paid for it, so and it was a lot of fun to do. A really lot of fun to do.
Because it's not.
I first started shooting this in.
I mean, it's not the greatest film ever, but it is a fun movie, and it's definitely one that's I feel has gotten better as time has gone on. It was just a decent adaptation, and this was during the time when video game adaptations were just wet fucking living up to the expectations of the fans as well. I mean, Mortal Kombat was, I admit, is a guilty pleasure. I still like Street Fighter, but they really didn't match up to the games. What made the games great, and but this one was like the best video game adaptation out of them all. And
it made a lot of money. Wow. It made a lot of money.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, it's actually pretty solid. Passable 2 hours. I know.
And we've come to the end of the Indiana Jones franchise, haven't we?
Oh yeah, it's definitely. Oh yeah, because Tomb Raider originally was taking off Indiana Jones with James Bond, and they got to incorporate a little bit of Indiana Jones here cinematically as well. And they do make changes from the game. Like the butler's not really super old and frail and shaking his tray about. He's basically Chris Barry reprising a little mixture of Rimmer and Mr. Britus again. But I like him in it, even though he doesn't get a lot of screen time. He's still very funny.
He does what he needs to do,
But seems like a nice guy as well, Chris Barry. I like him. He's a funny one. He's
never had the pleasure, but he seems like he's one hell of a comedian. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a video of him doing impressions of all the Red Dwarf crew.
Well, yeah, because he does it. Have you read the books? Have you listened to the audio books with Chris Barry narrating? He does the fucking impressions of the characters real well.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, he just goes into Lister, then back into Cat, then back into Crichton and Rimmer again, and it's
one hell of a mimic. He really is.
The actual actors doing it because he's that good. Plus, he wasn't an impressionist back in the 80s. He was.
Yep, that's right.
Image, wasn't he?
And Craig Charles was a poet.
Oh yeah, like a proper punk poet and everything. And that he had never acted before he did Red Dwarf, and they really didn't like each other those first few series. They really didn't.
No, the I don't necessarily call it animosity, but the kind of the tension between them is real.
Oh yeah, I know, and
They
it's
didn't get on
definitely.
too well.
But you can tell that they actually are did actually start to grow to love each other.
Oh, I mean,
during the
you
next
have
season.
to. If you
Yeah.
didn't quit, you know,
Mm.
you would just end up quitting. So, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
that man's off again. Yeah, worst. Yeah.
he's
Bad
got dodgy
signal.
gear.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry, man. Oh, he's back again. It's back again.
He'll be back. There you go.
Here we go.
Here he
Plus, one
is.
thing inside, man. Before I went on, you was one of Powell's henchmen somewhere in this film, aren't you?
Yes, yes, mate. Yeah. I was. It was pretty much throughout the. Let's see. So, well, should I mention it when we actually get to the scenes rather
Yeah, yeah,
than?
yeah.
Yeah, we'll try and get to it as
Um,
well. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
It would be
I was,
very
yeah.
embarrassing if if Northern English Bastard hasn't actually got a screenshot of you in it.
yeah. If I
You
do it,
somehow missed it.
I have a feeling that you're covered up as well, like in like fucking tactical gear and everything. And yeah, this
in
still
in
has
one scene, in one scene, there was the scene which was the assault on the house.
Oh, right.
Of
Okay,
course,
cool.
I
Croft,
thought so. I
Croft.
thought you'd be in one of those scenes. I thought you'd be in that one scene. I knew you would. I knew
Did
you
you
would.
get jumped on by
So, so,
Angelina
so it's
Jolie?
the Yeah, so it was the Croft Manor scene.
Yep.
That, and obviously again that was Hatfield House that was doubling
Yes,
up
which
up
apparently
for
they used
Croft
for the
Manor.
outside, but all the inside stuff they weren't allowed to film inside the house.
No,
So
it
it's
was all
all a
Pinewood
set.
Studios. Yeah, it was all
Yeah.
Pinewood Studios,
Mm.
and the other scenes were everything in the temple in
Cambodia.
Temple of
Cambodia.
Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other stuff on the orrery sets.
Yeah. You
Oh,
weren't
the
the guy
magic
Powell used.
octopus thing.
So
Yeah.
wait, yeah, you weren't the guy Powell used as a human shield when those statues were throwing their fucking swords about, was it?
Well, it's difficult. It's kind of difficult to say because we did variations of those scenes. I've only actually seen this movie twice, but
Ah,
we did variations of those scenes, and there were certain scenes where certain people were being thrown about and used as human shields. I was at one point, but I'm not sure whether I actually made the cut, so to speak.
I've heard that
Um,
the Cambodia suit was absolutely freezing because it
the
wasn't in
Cambodia.
Cambodia. That's England.
Yeah, that was on the Bond stage that we had the 007 stage. It's funny. I was actually going to mention that because we shot it
yeah,
in
Diamond
December.
Studios. Mm.
Yeah, we shot it in December. And I have to be honest with you, it was one of the best sets that I've ever been on. I mean, it was so incredibly detailed, and it was literally it was known as a four-wall set. So what happened was that there was only one entrance and exit to the set, which was one of the walls. So one of the walls gets taken out, so we can go on the set. Then the wall gets bolted back into position, so you can shoot from 360 degrees. Um, and it really was an incredible set, a really, really beautiful set.
Yeah, it
All of
looks.
the,
It's very impressive. Very expansive as well.
and what they did was they actually extended the rear of the Bond stage as well. They opened up the Bond stage at the back, and they extended it by about another. I think it was about another 100 feet or so, and they had all these
Okay.
vines and everything.
So that would
So
be the last of the Pierce Brosnan
Mm.
Bond films then.
oh, what? Sorry.
Would that have been the last of the Pierce Brosnan films? Because Daniel Craig wasn't cast, was he, by that stage?
No.
So it'd be whatever the last Brosnan film was. I can't remember. They were crap by then.
Yeah. We'll move on from
Yeah,
this scene now, and you can carry on. But yeah, this scene
yeah.
for you was like that hints another time, like he's trying to get to calm down a bit as well, because he probably is worried about that she probably might get herself killed one day, and he wouldn't like that because he's responsible for her since her father died. But yeah, and we'll move on from that scene on until the next. But yeah, finish the story now anyway. Hello?
That's sorry.
Oh,
Story?
sorry, fucking hell, I thought I got frozen out then. Jesus Christ, like my Men in Black stream.
No,
Yeah,
I'm still
so,
here. You just finished
yeah.
the story. I was like, I
So,
didn't
yeah,
have a
this
story, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, sorry, no, you're saying something inside, man.
Extension. So they put this sort of temporary extension on the rear of.
Think we're about to lose him.
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me, Critical? It's not just me, is it?
No, I can hear you, mate. I can't hear Inside Man.
Oh, Oh Christ! I thought it was man. Then, like in Men in Black all over again. Shit, man. Fucking hell. Oh yeah,
I should
yeah.
have
We'll
just
try
stayed
and.
silent, but I'm not that mean.
Can you hear me?
Oh, no, yeah, no. We'll try.
You
Well,
keep cutting out, mate.
Well, yeah, once he comes back on, yeah, you can try and finish the story a little bit. But yeah, this is where we start to get a little bit more into the plot. We're in Venice now, and we come across the Illuminati, and this is where we find out that the first phase of the planet's aligning is just starting now, and they really need to get a fucking move on and find all these triangle pieces as well to get the timey-wimey fucking eye thing as well. It's
Yeah, it's MacGuffin Central, isn't it, basically?
yeah, the MacGuffin.
Yeah, this is very much back in the days when most films, if not all films, had a MacGuffin. It's like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's all. That is kind of all part of these archaeology sort of like serial inspired movies as well, isn't it? Just
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. It's like Indiana Jones. I mean, Indiana Jones, is a series of MacGuffins, one MacGuffin leading to another MacGuffin,
oh yeah.
leading
It's
to
not
the
really about that
location
though,
of
is
the
it? It's just
ultimate
about
MacGuffin.
the journey the character goes on more, isn't it? I mean, it's about how he evolves from this sort of like fucking mercenary in Temple of Doom to this altruistic guy who really wants to preserve history in the Last Crusade.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about it is that,
Yeah.
Harrison Ford's so good at playing that kind of role. And in all honesty, I would have liked to have seen what Angelina Jolie could have done with Lara Croft.
Yeah,
I'd
love to
had
see
been a
one
lot of
last
films
one.
because I think she was really good for the role.
Yeah, I want to see one last one with Angelina Jolie. I know she's a little older now, but a much more older Lara Croft who's grown a bit weary, but at the same time, she's still got that spark in her. The way Tom Cruise was with Maverick in the
I'm
second
not
Top
sure
Gun
that I
movie.
trust Hollywood,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I won't trust it either.
I
But
really don't think I could trust Hollywood to do
this is where
anything.
we're introduced to Cowell as well, and
Yes.
fucking, he's so I really underappreciated him as a villain. I love the actor Ian Glenn anyway. I loved him in
England's
Game of
awesome.
Thrones.
Yeah.
But he's such a unapologetic slam ball. He doesn't
Oh, he
care what
really is, isn't he?
pompous ass he is. I love him.
Yeah, he's so good in this.
Yeah, the other guy as well. I forgot his name, but yeah, I've seen him in a lot of good comedies as well. He was very.
He was in Green Wing. He was in
Yeah.
Black Books.
He was like the fucking explorer guy,
He
isn't
was,
he?
yeah,
Especially
Jason
on
the
his book.
Explorer.
Yeah.
Can't remember his
I mean, the guy's so
bloody name.
charming, even fucking Bernie Black giggles like a fucking schoolgirl.
Man, I love Black Books. I'll tell you what, I could talk about Black Books for a whole stream, so let's not get into it. Because I
Oh
fucking
god,
love
it
that
was,
show.
yeah. He's very young here though, Ian Glenn. Look at him, he's
Yes, he is, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like,
compare that to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, did he like dye his hair black or something to make it darker? Because he's a redhead, isn't he, in real life?
I'm not sure, yeah, maybe. Quite
Yeah.
possibly. Because you couldn't
I mean,
really have
makes him
two
look a bit more
redheads, because obviously the assistant dude is a very, very redhead. So
Yeah. Plus, it
maybe
makes it look a bit more sinister as well. The slick back hair a little bit. And
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
little
it's
one
just
at the back.
sleazy
Black as
slime
well.
ball type thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
And he's-
Steven Seagal.
Yeah. It's like,
Steven
it's like
Seagal
Steven
kind
Seagal,
of
but
slimy.
likable. He's like a likable Steven Seagal, anyway.
Yeah, a lot less slimier.
Yeah. Did you ever get to meet Ian Glenn though when you were doing this? I'll talk to him.
Just briefly, just very, very briefly.
Yeah. What's he like? Please
not
don't.
a great-
I hope he's not an asshole.
No,
What?
it seemed very nice. It seemed very nice, but it was kind of a, very much a kind of, all right, guys, how's it going? Yeah, how you doing? That kind of stuff. Just sort of, whereas with Angelina Jolie, it was actually quite different. She was very, very friendly, very, very,
cool.
very friendly.
It's nice to hear, man, yeah.
Really, really
she's
nice.
a weird woman, but fucking hell, if Angelina Jolie was friendly with me, I'd be like, you know what? I'll excuse the weirdness. It's because she's Lara Croft. Fuck it. Still got a soft spot for her, despite her little quirks.
Yeah.
What, you mean the fact that she's absolutely mental?
Oh, she's mental. The best ladies, though. They're the best ladies. Just not marriage material, that's all. But obviously this is where we meet Powell, and obviously he's the go-to guy who has to get these pieces now. Otherwise, they have to wait another 5,000 years. And he's like, "Don't worry, it'll be done." And as soon as he walks away, it's like, "Yeah, we're not fucking ready, are we? We are way in over our heads."
Yeah, the script in this is definitely one of the weaker parts of the film. Put it that way. I was watching it, and you remember what I said about the difference I feel between watching a film as an audience member and you know, now that I'm playing at film critic, you know, a different way that I see the films all the way throughout this film. I was just like, oh my God, the script. I just, because I've probably not seen this film since I saw it at the cinema as a young kid, you know, and I would have been 19, 20 then. So I say young kid, but yeah, it's relative, isn't it?
Yeah, I was still in fucking, I think I was about, what was I, 7 or 8 when these games started coming out, and I'd not even had a PlayStation 1 yet. I was still on my Sega, was it Sega Genesis or Mega Drive? It's been a long time.
Genesis in America, Mega Drive over here.
Yeah. But this is where we do start to see a little bit of a vulnerability to her as well, where Rimmer's handing her all these...
nice, you know, she's got the human dynamic with her family, her father, which is it's quite nice. And the scenes are probably helped by the fact that it's her real dad. So
yeah, but they stopped talking a short while after this film as well, because
apparently John Voight had to be asked to leave the set because Jolie was doing a lot of her own stunts, and he kept worrying that it was all too dangerous. No idea on the validity of that, but it's what I heard.
Yeah, I like John Voight as well. He seems to be one of the good guys. He's
very good actor.
Yeah,
well, apart from maybe Anaconda. That's
Deliverance, Midnight Cowboy. I don't think he's ever done a bad performance, mate. He's a very likable guy. And
if you've seen Anaconda, that's a bad performance.
But he looks like he's having fun in that. It's been a long time since he's having it up.
It's not a good performance at all. I can't say it is.
I do like the little bit here where Chris Barry hands her all these little assignments as well to try.
Different missions.
He knows what the day is as well. He knows why she's sitting there upset, but sadly, she still realizes what day it was. And I
don't think Chris Barry disgraces himself in this film at all.
No, he doesn't. He's
quite a decent little actor, to be honest. You know,
I think he is a good actor. Oh damn. He's the one guy that was actually in this movie and could tell us some real cool shit about behind the scenes as well. And his internet is so bad. It's like, that's just my luck that with my streams.
We'll pop in from time to time. We'll get him back.
Yeah. But it does give her a little hint to why she's always motivated to do all the stupid shit and thrill seeking. You know, she's she's trying to gain some kind of closure as well. And
it's a nice little bit of it's just a nice little bit of character development, in my opinion, and it's all done with very, very little work, because nobody's going to turn around, even though she won an Oscar, obviously not for this. No one's going to turn around and say that Angelina Jolie is one of the best actresses of all time. They're just probably not going to do that. But I think she does some nice subtle work in this that's not really appreciated because of what the nature of the role was. And that's why I say that I would have really liked to seen her do another couple of Lara Croft films, because I think she could have done some good work with the character. It's just a shame.
One more time, just one more film, just give her an older, much more worn down Lara Croft, but she's still got that fucking spark in her eye, and she's
it could be interesting.
Yeah, she is like a female maverick. She's kind of like wanting to push the limits a little bit, and that's what she should be. And all their wearier characters still trying to push the limits.
I mean, presumably she is still kind of acting. She was in that Eternals film, wasn't she? So
but that was we won't talk about that. But I think she might be more comfortable doing directing now. She's done pretty well. I've not seen her films.
Oh, she directed now, actually. Oh, cool. I didn't know
but I've been hearing good things though. I've been hearing good things about what was it? I think it's about the soldier. I forgot it now. I forgot the fucking name, but
a future Catherine Bigelow, hopefully.
Yeah, but this is what leads
female directors, that's for sure.
Yeah, but this is what leads a little bit more into this. She knows that the planets are aligning as well.
Yeah, the alignment, and I mean, God, it's Illuminati plot device. 101, isn't it? Really, everything's going to align and get very special.
Yeah, and this is what sparks like something in her as well, psychologically in a dream, because now we've got this. It's actually well shot, creepy dream sequence where it's like flashbacks, but it's also a nightmare.
It's like a repressed memory, isn't it? Just kind of surfacing.
Yeah, so she's not perfect. She's not Mary Sue. She has got her fucking traumas and her little hang-ups here as well.
She displays vulnerabilities, and it's so refreshing to see. And it was the same.
These hang-ups that motivate a character as well. It's what gets her motivated to do this as well.
I watched Twisters yesterday. It was the same. It was refreshing that You know, the lead female character was not perfect all the time. She was not right all the time. She had vulnerabilities that she had to work through. And while the film certainly had its flaws, which I'll get to in a review soon, her character certainly didn't seem to be one of them. So, you know, maybe Hollywood's finally learning. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of learning now. Just some. I think a lot of the other film work shit that's coming out. This was stuff that was in the making for a good couple of years, probably before Maverick, and because of COVID.
Oh yeah, I mean, Hollywood is a massive machine. It's a massive machine, and it will be as ungainly and difficult to turn as Lara Croft was in the games. So, you know, it will take time.
Yeah. Once again, we'll get more exposition into what's happening, and it sort of helps her learn. It sort of helps her character know a little bit more about what's going on as well, because now she's starting to remember it as well, and it's not just stories that her dad told her as a kid. This shit is real, and she's woken up by a strange noise, and she's wondering where it is. And
I mean, exposition through flashback is one of the laziest methods there is, but I would argue in this film it works fairly well.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, it's more of a guilty pleasure, this film, but it's a guilty pleasure where you can still tell a lot of passion was put into it, though. Because
it's not a. Honestly, it's okay. It's, you know, it's not a terrible movie in my opinion. It's definitely got some very good bits about it. You know, you almost have to judge. You had all these films, and it happened a lot with superhero films at this time as well. And that's one thing that I wanted to say was I thought this film was very heavily influenced by Blade, especially in a lot of the action scenes.
Yeah, I see a little bit of the camera trickeries as well, like when
exactly.
and a lot of things went down a little bit. It's like, yeah, that's very 2000s, isn't it? That's a very 2000s way of movie making,
and it happened with the scripts as well. Like the scripts in those films were not the best, but we didn't care because, you know, we were being entertained.
Plus, we've got some good actors to sort of raise it as well. I mean, that's always the key as well. If your script isn't always the best, make sure you got a good fucking movie maker and some good fucking actors to at least try and raise it a bit.
Well, this is what I said about, you know, Deadpool Wolverine, because people are like, oh, how can you give Deadpool Wolverine a good score? And I said, look, put it this way. Most of the Marvel films in Phase 4, I think we're still in Phase 4, I can't remember, were crap and, you know, like really bad writing and stuff like that, and were not entertaining. Deadpool has some very dodgy writing, but this is entertaining as hell. So if you're not going to make a film that's, you know, amazing script and stuff like that, provided you can give the punters a good time, they're quite likely to go, yeah, all right, fair enough. You know, the film had problems, but I loved it. I enjoyed the film. Whereas with Marvel, it's like, well, I'm not really enjoying the film because it's preaching and stuff like that. And that just means I'm much more likely to spot all of the, you know, the bad writing in the film. You're not so likely as to give it a pass, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because it gave us more. It gave the fans more what they wanted than the less satirical Marvel, the more straightforward Marvel films even did.
Absolutely. No.
I mean, we've got Blade hanging out with the lecture and fucking Gambit. We have finally got a Gambit, a proper Gambit.
God. I didn't know if we were doing spoilers, but yeah, having Gambit, like, oh man, it was so good. It was a love letter to the 2000 Fox universe. 20th Century Fox universe. It really was. It had problems, but man, honestly, I enjoyed it. It's a Deadpool film. I almost feel like you need to give it different grading, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because it knows what it is anyway. But we'll move on a little bit from there anyway, because it's a good film. I love it.
It is a good film.
Yeah, this is where she finds out. Yeah, this is where she finds out the noise, and some clock is ticking. And this is why I kind of like Bryce a little bit more these days, because you know, the whole living in a nice, having the bedroom in a nice mansion. That's not his thing. He likes roughing it a little bit. He feels more at home.
He's so technologically minded that he even lives with, like, sleeps with, not in the biblical sense, with robots and stuff like that. But he lives a very low tech, you know, like in a caravan kind of thing. You'd think he'd have a studio in the house and everything like that, but he doesn't want any of that. So again, it's just nice this character that's shown to us without telling us.
I know. Once again, we established a little bit more in the relationship as well. They're just pure honesty between each other, because she's a very privileged woman, and she's probably hung out with all these fake fucking snobby, really fucking high class phonies, and she's got this guy who's just actually very honest and with her, and he tells it how it is, and she's obviously taken to him a little bit from that, and she likes having him around.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think that the life of a Tomb Raider is actually going to be quite lonely.
Yeah.
She's got all the money, so I dare say she's probably got dudes fawning all over and stuff like that. But on the off chance that she doesn't want that, I would imagine that, the life of a Tomb Raider is actually quite lonely, and she probably appreciates having these people around her.
Yeah, because they do almost ground her a little bit as well, and I
mean, the Chris Barry, Hillary, his name is, character kind of is not quite father-like, but there's like a tiny bit of responsible adult there, if you know what I mean.
I
think
was asking Sam, man, if he ever got to speak to Noah Taylor here as well, because he's one of those actors that seems like a decent guy as well, and that's if his internet's working inside, man.
I'm here.
Good. Yeah, did you ever meet Noah Taylor here as
well?
No,
I didn't. No, I didn't, mate. No, not at all. I'm afraid. But
Chris Barry, while you were storming the mansion.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Chris Barry, while you were storming the mansion, maybe.
No. Well, see, I did the outside of Croft Manor. And the rest of it was actually done by stunt performers. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Well, yeah, because you got a lot of like falling down, aren't you, and landing on fucking hard surfaces. But I'm guessing they landed on mats as well, and they just did a bit of clever editing to make it look like the floor.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair,
exactly that.
They did also have Angelina Jolie landing on them, so there was some compensation.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. It's funny you were talking about some of the stunts that you happened to mention about John Voight commenting on her doing stunts and everything. When we get to the part, there was one particular bit that one particular stunt that she did do that I was there for, and if I'm completely honest with you, I was absolutely flabbergasted. I mean, everyone was agog watching her perform this stunt. It was incredible. I think you know which stunt I'm talking about, but I'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah, I've got a feeling I know, but let us know when you get there. I've got a hell of a lot of respect for actors that do their own stunts. I really do. Really do.
Yeah, because I don't know if you meant the chandelier scene, but we will get to that when we get to it. So at the moment, Bryce is now wondering what the fuck he's been woken up so early for, and it's like it's a clock, it's ticking, and it's like, and he's wondering what the fuck's that about. He gets a bit sarcastic with her, and she never gets totally pissed off, but she does put a foot down with her, saying, "Listen, this is serious. It started ticking tonight. This is the first phase of the alarm. Something weird's happening here." So that's when he starts to take it a bit seriously. And this I never got as well, because Chris Barry has, not the fucking butler's name though, but he brings a coffee that's decaf. He's like, "Don't you need caffeinated coffee to wake you up?" I don't know.
He's probably the kind of guy who doesn't, want to do drugs or anything like that, and might see caffeine as being a drug. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know what you're saying. Yeah, but fucking hell, I need a good coffee to wake me up a little bit. It's
fun fact. I'm actually allergic to
coffee as well. It gets me motivated to write reviews.
Yeah, and also it's very good in the morning for your first bowel movement.
Yeah. Good luck. But now he's starting to find something as well. He sees this little strange eye as well, and
this is one of the things that really, it doesn't really annoy me, but it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, there's an example of some bad writing, because he loses this eye and can't find the damn thing again with the endoscope whatchamajigger. She smashes it with a hammer.
Yeah, she just smashes it out. Just cracks me up
clock. And I'm just like, really?
I mean, she has her fucking tongue out while she does it as well. That was an accidental. That was accidental as well, but I just managed to catch it. And
whatever.
Maybe she's getting some relish out of smashing things as well, because she seems a person who embraces the chaos a little bit. But now she finds this MacGuffin called the All-Seeing Eye. So now she has to see a fucking clock expert on it as well.
Yeah, you get the whole kind of
Oh, the bloody dog's
tail,
invading the stream
chase
again, aren't you? Yeah. Come on, eh? Come on, go bother your mum. Come on. All right, bring her in here while she's whining. Yeah. She's been a daddy's girl tonight. She is. But yeah, I love this scene as well. I mean, it does almost show just how indifferent she is to a lot of these high class people. You know, she's like, all these people are trying to get all these artifacts with money and that, and it's like, yeah, I get these artifacts by fucking jumping off cliffs and swinging from vans in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of shows that it's not the artifacts necessarily that. Again, it's not a bad little bit of character development again, because it shows it's not necessarily the artifacts that she enjoys; it's the thrill of finding them.
Exactly. Yeah. She's like, it don't mean that to her. She's like, she likes the adventure. She's a big adrenaline junkie.
Oh yeah, massively.
That's how a character should be. She should be an adrenaline junkie, but at the same time, have a good heart as well. But now we come to Leslie Phillips, because he's an expert on these things. He's like a clock expert, and she needs to find out more information on that might lead to maybe getting closure with her father as well. And this is where we meet Alex West, named after Simon West as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because originally he was going to be called Alex Mars.
Yeah, there was legal shit, wasn't there?
And there was legal problems with the name. I don't know why. I don't know who Alex Mars is, but yeah, so they just decided, fuck it, we'll rename him, and just named him after the director.
I know, and he's kind of like he's kind of a little bit more dodgier as well, but at the same time they've got a history together. Like,
yeah, you get the feeling that they went on tomb raiding adventures and things like that in the past very much, and
yeah, it's kind of that, you know, that sort of similar kind of rivalry that you sense between Indiana Jones and Belloc in Raiders of the Lost Ark, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know. Like I said, this is the first time I saw him in a movie, and I thought he was American.
Yeah, no, his American accent is actually really, really good. It doesn't drop for a second. Like Angelina Jolie's American accent British accent is okay, but every now and again she just kind of drops to Cockney, and whereas it's Daniel Craig, it's just all the way through. He just maintains it. Very impressive.
It's funny because he was really quite strange when you think about it now, but he was a little bit sort of insecure. I found he was constantly asking, you know, oh, was I okay? Was I okay? It was asking everyone whether he was perfectly fine in the scene and everything. You know, just hoping for approval. He was quite insecure about his acting at that time. But of course, no need for that now. You know.
No, he's probably the opposite now. I mean, was this particularly early in his career? I've not IMDb.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I can remember that he did before this was Our Friends in the North, where he played a character called Geordie.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say as well, because he already did Our Friends in the North, and he'd done Elizabeth as well, where he played an assassin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And he was very good in that. Actually, he was very good.
Yeah, he's only on for a short time and doesn't.
Yeah, he was a real shit in that.
Oh yeah, he's a vicious fucker in that. Even when he's tortured, he barely winces. He just he never screams. It's like, damn.
Yeah,
he actually done a hell of a lot of work before this, but it was all TV. So most of his work up until that point had been TV. So I guess a film would be quite different.
No, plus he was acting alongside Angelina Jolie as well, and she was already doing pretty well. She had The Bone Collector, she had Gear, she had Gelly.
So she owned that period as far as female kind of film stars went. She was getting roles thrown left and right.
These characters as well, because he's basically like Lara Croft, except he's in it for the money while she's in it for the thrills, and she kind of. They still seem like they could be friends, but at the same time, she has a little bit of disrespect for him because he's kind of
you get a feeling of rivalry there, don't you? Sort of like, you went down a different path to me.
Yeah, because he's more cynical, isn't he? He's more about the money. He's not a total amateur novice on historical artifacts. He does seem to know his stuff as well, because that's the reason why they're hiring him as well. But
yeah, I mean, he's like a total he's a total hired gun, isn't he? You know,
yeah, that's he is. Yeah,
he'll do anything.
he's cynic as well. He's very cynical as well. He's like he knows it, but he doesn't. He knows his history, he knows his artifacts, but I don't think he appreciates the significance of them unless they're paying.
I think there's a romance in it for Lara that's not there for the Alex West character. Put it that way.
I didn't really feel that much chemistry between them as there could be a couple, just more like rivals who could be friends, like a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they've gone on digs together and maybe tried to, you know, might have even gone to the same kind of archaeological schools or whatever, you know, stuff like that. And he's gone one way and she's gone the other, basically.
Again, it's, you know, that similar thing with Belloc and Indiana Jones. You know, when he says to him, you know, it would only take one little nudge to, you know, push you out of the light into the darkness. You know, we're very similar. He says, you know, and they're kind of flip sides of the same coin.
Yeah, reverse sides of the coin, aren't they?
No, but you don't see he's not. I could have used a couple of scenes where Alex was shown that he may actually have a conscience as well, especially during the end. And
well, this is the kind of stuff that I feel might have been in the film when it had its 210-minute cut.
I think that might be one of the few things where seeing the director's cut could add a bit more context.
Sorry, 2 hours 10 minutes, not 210 minutes. That'd be 3.5 hours.
That'd be fucking long. But yeah, if Daniel Craig hadn't have not enjoyed his time. Had enjoyed his time in this movie and agreed to do a second one, I think we could have seen a bit more development between these two.
Yeah, definitely. I think it could have been very interesting, to be honest.
Oh, Lola, shut up, you miserable git. It's all right. But obviously, he knows about this as well. The Clock X, the Leslie Phillips character, he's being very, he's keeping it close to his chest as well, and he knows this is all part of the Illuminati's thing because we found out later that because we found out later that her dad was part of it, and he was good friends with her dad as well. So even though you don't know it yet, you already seen a little bit of history there between Lara.
Yeah, it's kind of like these days he would be painted as such a more sinister character. Because obviously he's the white dude and everything like that. So these days, I think he'd be painted as you know, flat out malevolent. You know, a more sinister character in this. In this, he's just a father's friend who's kind of just trying to protect her by not giving her all the information, kind of thing. And he doesn't get a lot of screen time, but he does, you know, quite well with it, I think, Leslie Phillips.
And he's a thoroughly nice fellow as well.
I imagine so.
I'd never met him on this, but there was something else that I did quite a few years prior, actually, in the 80s called Life After Life. And it was, it wasn't particularly good. John Fortune, Leslie Phillips, I think George Cole was in it. But yeah, and he was very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. And, you know, he did his usual kind of, oh, hello, and ding dong.
From that school of gentlemen actors, you know, kind of how can I forget the man's name? He's a legend. Christopher Lee, that kind of era.
Oh, yeah, Christopher Lee's the fucking bollocks, man.
Did you ever meet Christopher Lee?
No.
Oh,
no, afraid not. No, sadly, yeah.
We are
getting. I would have loved to have met.
Yeah, he was. Because he's proper old school, and actual World War II hero. But this little scene as well. It's like another little hint as well. Like this, it's a clock, but it's counting backwards to something. It's
countdown.
There's this little key compartment, and there's this little thing at the back that looks like it could be a key, and once again,
or a radiation symbol.
Contraptions like in Indiana Jones and all those serials as well.
Yeah, that's it exactly. It's a throwback to that kind of thing, isn't it? It's a case of like the film is what it is, but you can see the affectations towards other types of films, and I quite like that about it. It kind of feels like it's not forgotten. It's not trying to make any grand statements or anything like that. You know, it's not like, oh, this is a film that's going to change, the genre or anything like that. It's like this is just another chase the clue action archaeological film, but it just happens to have this intriguing female character in it. That's it's the most pretension that the film goes for, and I like it for that.
Yeah, but we also found out he's obviously going to sell her out now, because now Powell knows that she has something that could lead him to the old fucking time MacGuffin thing. I forgot what it's called. Is it the Triangle of Light? Isn't it the Triangle of Light?
Yeah, the Illuminati triangle. So it controls time.
Manipulate time. It's like
I can't remember if we've had that exposition scene yet or not. I don't think so.
No. And he seems really torn about it as well, because he's like, forgive me, and you're Lara Croft, you're fucking rich. You can order a nice cuisine or go to a nice restaurant. You don't need microwavable food. Just
Eat didn't exist yet.
Yeah. But if you're rich enough, you could have it flown to you from Italy.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is where we start to meet Powell and get to know him a little bit more. And this is Mr. Pins, after the drink. Yeah, and obviously they got these very sinister looking guys, and he's obviously not hiding the fact he's a fucking villain.
This is one of the things I like about it. It's not at one stage you're like, yeah, that guy's legit. It's like, no, he's really not.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be a lawyer as well, and it's like,
they say lawyer a lot. Wouldn't it be solicitor?
Yeah, he's supposed to be, isn't he? But he's like, he's a solicitor for the fucking elite, the Illuminati. And we found out that he's really obsessed with this as well, and because of how little he knows about it, and his ignorance amuses him.
Well, and he's meant to be working for the Illuminati, or he's a minor member of the Illuminati, he's the right-hand man or something.
Yeah, his right-hand man, the right hand of God, as he says later on.
That's
in the
right.
film.
She's like, where do you sit? Which is a really cool little scene, actually. It kind of lays down some really cool little character dynamics, and the observation skills of Lara is that, she can kind of tell that he's ambitious and he's not happy with his lot, and that he wants to take over.
He's definitely power hungry.
It's a cool little scene that shows Lara's intuitiveness and intelligence.
Plus, he's so good in England. He's so fucking underrated.
He's a great actor.
He's obviously having fun with this role. He plays
a great actor. Yeah.
And all of our Bryce is just like, what the fuck is that guy all about? Like, ignorance amuses me. And she's like, yeah, well, I always found your ignorance very amusing. But she knows he's full of shit and that he's a fucking liar and everything. And this is how she relaxes. She can't do proper yoga like everyone else. She has to fucking bounce around the house, because that's her way of fucking unwinding, just a pure adrenaline rush.
When I was watching this film as a young man, certainly not a child, but a young man, I was not complaining about any of this scene.
Oh, no.
I was like, this is all absolutely fine. Please carry on.
Yeah, it makes sense to a character as well. I mean,
because
people want to do something that's actually less active than when they're relaxing, but no, she has to keep active. That's how she stays focused. That's how she unwinds. She's not a person to sit around in one place for too long. And this is where things start to kick up a notch. And hope I'm not fucking getting cut out again. Are you still there?
I'm still here, mate. Yep.
Oh, good. Yep, fucking hell. Every time it goes quiet, I think my signal's going off again. But and obviously because she has the fucking all-seeing eye, they're gonna fucking invade our house now.
Yeah. What's that? The black dude, that actor. What's his name? Because it was doing my head in. I'll have to sit.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Inside, man,
I definitely recognise him.
Yeah, I bet he's a well-known stuntman for his time as well. And you there, Inside Man?
Yeah, I could. I've no idea who he is. I've absolutely no idea of a name. I'm
going to see if he's on IMDb, because I definitely when I saw him on screen, I recognised him because he's one of the bodyguards in the previous scene as well.
Oh yeah.
And I was just
he's definitely like a big name bodyguard as well, because he's definitely one of but he's obviously just there as a hired gun as well, and he just happens to be in Powell's employment a bit more because Powell's just continually to pay him. As you see later on in the movie, when it gets closer to the end, he has no true loyalty. He's just there for the money.
I think it's Robert Phillips.
Yeah, Robert Phillips. Then let's have a look. Robert.
His henchman lead, assault team leader. It says Julius. So I think it's him. There's no picture, so he obviously didn't do much.
Yes, I thought he would because he looks like.
I swear I've seen him in other stuff.
Maybe
I'm just being inadvertently racist, but yeah, you kind of. I saw him and I was like, "Oh man, I remember seeing him from stuff," but maybe not.
Yeah, and it's a fucking cool action scene as well, and she doesn't really kill anyone. Unless,
she doesn't. Again, I wonder if that's something to do with the PG and in the original cut she did, because she does get a gun out and start shooting people at some point. But you're right, you don't really see anybody dying or anything like that. So,
yeah, first impressions of the movie. It's when I first saw it, I was it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, but I have, the more I've watched it over the years, the more I've appreciated it a little bit more for what it is.
I was enjoying it. That's all I can say. It was par for the course at that time. Video game films in particular were not exactly mind-blowing stuff. I think you got Resident Evil the year after this.
Yeah, that was a bad one. That is actually bad.
I was like, yeah, it was all right. I enjoyed it, and it was typical action. It wasn't going to change the world. It was nice to see Angelina Jolie. I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't complete shit. And back then, I don't think I noticed any of the writing deficiencies at all. I think I was just enjoying it.
But at this particular moment in time, we had a lot of productions that were going on in this country that were this sort of genre, this sort of action adventure genre.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
We had what was the other one I was on? Sahara. We did that, and obviously the Mummy films. So you had all of these kind of
fun movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had this little sort of clutch of movies that were going on around this time, and they're all being shot over here.
Yes, they were. Yeah, and I think Mummy was 99. I think it just had its 25th anniversary.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So I would hold that up as a level above this. Like the Mummy, I would actually say is a good film. It's well scripted.
Yeah, I like it.
It is a very good film. This is an average, not awful film. So it's certainly not up to that standard. But as you say, this is what we were getting back then. It was loads of that kind of thing. So, this measured up. It wasn't awful. I was fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the Mummy, as you say, easily kind of supersedes this. This is.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
It's a terrific film. It was because it was something that we hadn't seen for a long, long time. We hadn't seen that kind of action adventure movie for a long while.
It had this film's got okay acting and chemistry and what have you, but Rachel Weisz and it's Rachel Weisz, isn't it? And Brendan Fraser, plus the additional actors that you had just elevated that film to a new level. And that is one of those action adventure films that just, I think even now 25 years later it really holds up. There's nothing, this film isn't awful by any means, but it's not up to that level, as you say, not at all. Still with us, bastard?
Yeah, I'm still with us. Just moving a few stuff while listening to you as well. But I've done that now. But yeah, I think this was the scene where you're talking about Angelina doing one of the stunts, and was it about the ankle thing on the chandelier when she tries to make the landing and she missed it?
No, it was. Do you want me to talk about it before we actually get to the
talk about if it's part of the scene?
Well, we.
I figured it was a somersault on the ropes, but
no. Right. Okay. I'll tell you what it was. Right. So we're on the Cambodia set. Okay, Cambodian temple set, and of course, there's all the kind of interplay between her and Powell, and and of course, the stunt performer, stunt double, Eunice, I can't remember her name, was doing the stunt on the log, the swinging log
Oh
thing.
yeah, the thing that
Yeah,
the almost
yeah,
Batman Man type thing. Yeah,
yeah. So she was she started to do it, but she was getting motion sickness. She was actually
oh,
getting she was getting really ill. Yeah, really felt quite unwell. And of course, Angelina Jolie had said, you know, I think I might be able to do it. So she did, and we were underneath watching her do it, and it was fucking amazing. It was amazing to see what this girl did. You know,
absolute boss.
we couldn't believe it. I mean, she must have been 50 foot up on this thing,
I bet
no
the insurers
harness.
were shitting themselves.
Yeah, no harness. Well, this is the thing. If the insurers had actually found out because she did it on the day,
Oh
they would,
right,
yeah, she kind of did it on the fly. So it was one of those, you know, look, I can do it. You know,
don't tell
let's,
anybody.
yeah,
Yeah, that's why Tom Cruise does his own stunts, because he bars out the bloody insurance companies, doesn't he? He's got his own
yeah,
insurance company,
yeah,
so he could do it.
yeah, and she did it. Everybody was watching it, you know, with their mouths wide open, really.
That's cool.
Just couldn't believe it. I mean, like I say, she had no harnesses, no wires, nothing keeping her to that thing, stopping her from falling off. But like a real pro, she did it, and she did it
That's
really well.
so much respect for actors
Yeah,
that do their own stunts. Really do.
and believe me, that drop was
Very cool.
a killer. That drop was definitely a killer. If she'd come off, she would have died. There's no question of that. And you know, some of the parts of the sets, you know, we had like all these different sort of gaps underneath of the set, like that you could easily fall down, and
Yeah,
it was just amazing. So she could quite easily have been killed doing that stunt if it had gone horribly wrong,
fair
because she was
play.
very good.
Yeah.
It's very cool set piece in the movie.
Yes, you got to give her. Yes, she has some fucking balls, though. She does, and
Yeah.
and obviously he's trying to get some. Technical work done to try and help. And I love how Chris Barry just gets in there as well. He just he goes all orderly when he gets ready. He gets his slippers on and he's dressing
He
gown.
grabs the shotgun.
Yeah. And I don't like to. I wish it could have gone to the action more, but it's right for his character. You know, he just fires a shotgun a few times. He's not a big action man, but he knows how to.
I like it. I think it works. Yeah, I think it works.
I mean, he's kind of an Alfred, isn't he? It's
yes,
a little bit of an Alfred.
Very much so.
Yeah, that's the one thing I would love to have seen. A few more moments of him being like more of a father figure as well. Just a little bit more, trying to ground.
I think they didn't want to diffuse from the John Voight dynamic there. I think that's probably why that happened. I can barely remember the second film, but I know he was in that, so I don't know if they rectified that at that point or not.
No, and I like how she armed herself with like a launcher as well, just like some kind of a screwdriver.
Yeah, she puts a screw into a nail gun, I think it is, something like that, or a bolt gun. So yeah, it's quite cool. And you get to see her piss about on a motorbike, which is fun. I presume that was a stunt lady.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah, I had to take the dog into the other room. She's just whining. I played with her all bloody day. I don't know what's wrong. You can never keep her. She can never rest. She always has to play and jump around all the time. And she's very clingy as well. She is. So I'm going to have to give her a little bit of independence for a little bit. You know, just let her chill out for a bit.
But that's why she wants you. That's why she wants you so much, because you've played with her all day. That's why she wants you.
God, I love that dog though, but okay, now she is clingy as hell. So we need to. I'm going to have to give her a bit of independence now. I love her, but she needs to chill out a little bit.
See, this is why I keep reptiles and spiders.
I'll try and take her for a good long walk in the morning. You know, hopefully, yeah.
To be fair, nothing will love you like
maybe I shouldn't exercise her so much. Then she'll be more calmer. But once again, we get another fucking cool scene, and she's obviously doing the bike stunts herself a little bit, maybe in some scenes, but
yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be close-ups, there's going to be some sort of wire work and stuff like that. I mean, one of the cool things about this film is when it comes to the action, And maybe Inside Man can put me straight in this, but I don't see an awful lot of it being CGI. A lot of it looks to be practical stunt effects, just well done.
Yeah, practical. Yeah, exactly that.
So, you know, that's quite nice at the end of the day.
Yeah, so we were just kind of on that cusp, weren't we? Where
Yes.
it really, where it really kind of exploded. I mean, obviously we have certain sequences that warrant the CG in this a little bit later on. So
Yeah, like you got the statues and stuff like that, and you had the robot earlier, but even some of that was practical.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I do like the fact that the statues, they still tried to make it work. Like the statues' joints actually break when they try to move, and instead of just being rubberized, like in Jason and the Argonaut, something like that, or the Sinbad movies, the horizontal.
I was going to say, that's one of the things I actually liked about that scene is it was animated, and whether or not it was the limitations of the technology at the time or whether it was intentional, but they are kind of animated in a very sort of Ray Harryhausen kind of way, like kind of jerky and almost like stop animation, which I liked. I liked a lot.
Oh yeah, because it always adds a little bit of unsettledness to where it moves as well, like it's something inhuman.
So I mean,
but obviously
we'll
the guys
see when
have
we get
not
there
got
in Cambodia, but you know, I did quite like that. It was quite cool.
Yeah, now the guards have got the all-seeing eye now, and it's looking like she's going to have to try and get the bastard back. But she already knows where. I think she already knows where they might have to go, where they could be able
Why
to
she
get.
didn't put a decoy out, I'll never know.
Yeah, no, she doesn't know where it is yet.
The first thing I would have done.
Yeah, she doesn't know where it is yet, but
well, she knows who's done it, though, doesn't she?
But in the morning, she gets this little package as well, which becomes like a clue to her.
It's not exactly being subtle about who's done any of this, is it? You know.
Yeah, she knows who it is. She knows who it is. And next time you see him when they're delivering it, he doesn't look into it. He just sits there being all pretentious and smug, and it's great. God bless Ian Glenn. God bless Ian Glenn. Yeah, and this poor guy as well. He's wondering what the fuck's happened here. Angelina Jolie's really funny here as well, because now she's like, I just woke up one day and just hate everything.
It's one of the scenes where I thought her British accent really did work quite well.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really notice any Cockney in the movie. I just
every now and again, you'll just hear it. It's not even for like a whole line, but she'll be saying a sentence and there'll just be a word that she just pronounces in the wrong way. It was slightly jarring to me. Obviously, I didn't notice at the time, but it was certainly jarring to me when I watched it the other day.
I watched it earlier and I must have missed it, but yeah, even as I look at the fucking name and the letters as well, and it's like, and I love in the background that Chris Barry and him are sort of having this sort of like little tiny mild argument as well, saying, "What are you doing looking at the fucking names of the letters?" But it turns out it's a letter from her father, and it was scheduled to be sent to her when she gets older, and obviously she's now at the right age where he wants her to start looking for...
Just in time for the alignment. That was lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he knew when the alignment was coming, didn't it? Because it's like scheduled for like every 5,000 years. And right in time. Yeah, right in time. It just happened to be in 2001. And it's just this little poem as well, to see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a world forever. All eternity in the passion of your hand, and eternity in an hour. It's
obviously gives her a clue to go and get. As I say, it is a series of MacGuffin chases at the end of the day, but it's it doesn't ever really pretend that it's anything more, so you kind of let it off.
Yeah, and she remembers that poem was from her dad, and now it leads to clues about a shitload of exposition right here.
Yeah. There are actually, I mean, as I say, it's another thing about the writing, but there are a lot of exposition dumps in this film.
Yeah. Yeah, and the exposition is all about the triangle that was split in two and hidden across different parts of the world, so no one would ever
end of the world.
It. But now she knows that one of them could be... I can't remember how she finds out it was in Cambodia. Yeah, because of the temple. Yeah, so now she's got to get Cambodia in like 16 hours because they have 66 hours left to try and get this triangle assembled in time for
the clock in this film really doesn't work particularly well, sadly.
Yes, the ticking clock. Yes. So how are you going to get to Cambodia in like 16 hours and get the things like, I'm calling in a favour? Yeah, and once again, a little bit of exposition that she was in the army, so that's how she knows how to be all fucking tactical and how to.
I'm not sure if she's actually in the army there.
Well, she's in somewhere anyway. She's in some kind of military thing.
Yeah, she's got some kind of military connection, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe she went on like a mission or something as an advisor or something like that. But
yeah, maybe she was SAS or something like that. Any British Army experts, please let me know. Inside man, if you know a bit more about that, just let me know because I know.
I mean, for me, I think I just personally thought that it was one of her contacts rather than any sort of experience that she had.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe the people that been on a mission or something with them.
Yeah, maybe the kind of people that have trained her to be who she is. Ex or current serving members of special forces that that she's got a really good relationship with, people that she's paid, I'm sure, very, very well to train her to such a high degree.
It works. It does what it needs to do. She gets to Cambodia in time. It's this really cool scene where she gets dropped in a jeep. It's very this bit in particular is very sort of like true. Well, not like the event, but the style and what she's doing is true to Lara Croft in the game. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I know, because like I said, she can't enter the country like a normal woman. She has to be in a fucking jeep that's parachuted from a jet plane, and we just love her fucking more for it, though. We do.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's part of the character. It's cool.
It
it's
cool
badass,
as well.
It's sexy. I like it.
And it's funny. It's funny as well. Lara Croft is a very funny character. That's why we like it. But now she knows. But obviously, she knows what a temple is. Anyway, it's like an old, like really fucking old ancient temple, and while these people are busting their asses, and Daniel Craig's obviously in charge.
Goes to the back door.
Yeah. Yeah, and we see Powell. He's just fucking lounging around like he's he's on holiday. It's, once again, an unapologetic asshole, and I love him for it. So yeah, I don't like the fact that even Daniel Craig gets into it as well, but obviously because he wants work to fucking progress faster and get his money, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's it. He's just looking for the pay. She's got the romanticism behind it. Maybe not this particular deal, but in general, what she does, she views it in a romantic kind of way, whereas Alex West doesn't. He's just a mercenary. He's just all about the money. So it's just part of it at the end of the day.
I know. So obviously she's trying to sneak in as well, and this is where we start to see.
She knows where the back door is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a few ridiculous things in here. We've got this little girl that shows up and then disappears, and
yeah, it's weird because that happens a few times. It's not really addressed. Like it happens again when they go to the Arctic Circle as well. One of the Eskimo Inuit type.
Yeah, and like how Powell is.
Says, you're going to throw it all away to see him again, and it's not really explained, but fair enough.
Because we do get to see that there is a little bit of a selfish side to her. Like she is kind of doing this a little bit because. She wants to see her dad again, and it's very understandable. It's very human as well. It's a very human motive.
Well, it shows a vulnerability and flaw to her character, which is really refreshing. And it is quite a feminine flaw. A daughter wants to see her father again. She wants to see, the man who made her what she was, and she wants that closure and stuff. So, I like that. I think that's a cool thing to be in the film. And again, it just rounds her character up a little bit more, and it also gives Jolie a little bit of a chance to show off some acting chops. When it happens later in the film, which was quite nice. She does a nice, effective bit of.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
She pouts. It's very good. It's very good. She pouts.
No actor.
Not fair.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no actor looks like they're phoning it in at all because, like I said, they're really playing up their roles as well. Even though this is like a little bit of it is obviously a little bit of a cashing on popular video games, but I've seen worse movies, worse adaptations that have no.
Oh God, yeah. No, I mean, as I say, it's not a bad it's not a terrible film. Honestly, it really just isn't. I mean, the writing is a bit shit, but you know, a lot of the writing in films back then was because it was secondary to the other stuff, you know. But because the film didn't really have any pretensions, I didn't mind that much. So, you know, it was fine. You still with us, Inside Man?
Yes, I'm still here. Yeah.
Sweet. We're getting up to the Cambodian bit, so I was kind of thinking you could tell us what it was like.
Very cold. I mean, it was absolutely freezing on that set. I mean, we had like a big moisture machine sort of above us. So when you see that moisture in the air, that kind of steam in the air, obviously we're
Oh, okay.
shivering. You know, so we're in these. I think it was called Tiger Stripe camo.
Yeah.
With the sort of boonies hats. Um, and I had what did I have? I had a Heckler& Koch G36, which is an amazing weapon, really quite incredible. And yeah, it was bloody cold. It was. I mean, there was snow on the ground outside.
Jesus.
And yeah, as we were coming up, I mean, all of us were given this kind of tanning. You know, so we're all sort of tanned up because we were as white as ghosts.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So you know, makeup basically sort of covered us in this tanning stuff, and you know, so got on the set. All this moisture was coming down, and it was freezing, absolutely freezing cold. Supposed to be hot and humid, but it was
I was going to
so
say, who
cold.
the hell decided to try and film something representing Cambodia in December?
It's all to
Sadistic
do with
bastards.
release dates and everything, isn't it? It's schedules and release dates, and of course, and I can tell you the exact day that this was filmed. It was Monday, the 10th of December, 2000. And the reason I can tell you the exact day is because the day after, or that evening when we wrapped, I walked into, because it was my first day, I walked into the production office and I said, look, I think there's a possibility that I may not be in tomorrow or maybe for the rest of the week. Is that okay? And they said, it's okay. We're sort of moving on to something else anyway. And they said, well, you know, what's the problem? I said, well, my wife's heavily pregnant, and you know, I'm just a little bit worried that this is the week that she's going to give birth. And of course, I got home late that night, about 10 o'clock, and then my wife at the time had she said, I think I'm having the baby now. So we rushed up to the hospital, and of course, when I came in the following week, they were so lovely to me. You know, all of the crew and everybody, you know, really, really lovely to me, and you know, a lot of congratulations and you know, a few cards and a few little gifts and what have you. So yeah, that was smashing.
Nice.
Um,
How long were you like shooting for? I mean, like you yourself, how many sort of days did you do shooting and stuff?
I'd say altogether probably in the region of about 3 weeks.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
Um,
So it's definitely enough time to get to know people on the set and the cast and
yeah,
crew,
yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
3 weeks. I thought what the shoot would have been. Is it just the Cambodia where it was just in there for the 3 weeks though?
No, I mean that was in total. It was the some insert shots for the Storming of Croft Manor. You know, for the outside of the Storming of Croft Manor. So so it was some of that. We actually reshot that twice. So I had to come back for another night shoot or 2 night shoots to reshoot that for some reason. Don't know why. And we had a reshoot again on this Cambodia set for one of the days, and then of course, you know, we spent a few days doing the big sort of action stuff where the statues come to life and we're sort of blowing them away, and then the rest of the stuff that I did was on the Iceland set and over at the, you know, the orrery set, you know, with the
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
yeah. And that was an amazing fucking set. I
I
mean,
was
this
going to
was,
say that must have cost
yeah,
a lot of money to build.
yeah. I mean,
I feel bad for
really,
you.
really
I mean,
incredible.
I do feel bad for you in Cambodia because you're wearing clothes that are meant to be a bit more for summer, aren't you? And it's
Yeah.
This is
fucking
what I'm saying. What bastard decided
Yeah.
to do that in fucking December?
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. And it's funny because when we were doing the Iceland stuff for the orrery, so I've turned up in the morning and it was like really, really early morning calls. So it was like 4 a.m. call times. So I got there, call time, and I've gone straight over to the catering. Me and another one of the guys, we've gone straight over to the catering to get ourselves our usuals of obligatory, bacon sarnie for breakfast and a cup of tea. So, and we're sort of standing behind this other bloke that's in the queue, and my mate's gone, "Yeah, you know who that is in front of you, don't you?" I said, "No." And with that, the bloke turned round, and of all people, it was fucking Rolf Harris. And
Why?
it was
Jesus.
Rolf Harris, and he's gone, "G'day." And I gone, "All right, Rolf." I said, "All right, Rolf, what you doing here?" He's going, "Oh, I'm doing my animal hospital bid." So he was doing an animal hospital Christmas special, and something to do with the huskies and everything that we used for all the dogs that we used.
Yeah, the dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mucho, mucho dollars. All the
yeah,
doggies.
yeah, yeah. It was yeah. So that was a bit of an unusual
Fucking hell,
morning.
Rolf.
Yeah, yeah,
That story has a slightly different connotation these years, doesn't it?
yeah. It does. Yeah,
10 years ago, that story goes down slightly different.
yeah, yeah. There
Thanks
you
for
go.
joining, Blue Collar, as well, and Artie. Yeah, always.
Hey.
Good evening.
Yeah, he's working tonight and probably going to be working a good while. And make sure you're not too fucking drunk. Your customers got to get home alive, don't they, man?
I don't know. Is that in the contracts anywhere? I don't think it is. When you sign up to terms and conditions in Uber, I bet you anything it doesn't say it specifically.
This bit is a little bit silly as well. I was like, okay, she finds this like blue jasmine flower and she picks it, and then suddenly she gets
it's
the ground just comes apart and she grabs all these vines, and now she's in the temple. And but yeah, you kind of let it go a little bit because
it's pure video game fantasy, isn't it? I don't think you're supposed to take this. I don't think you're supposed to take any of this film seriously. I really don't. It has no pretensions. This movie, I like it.
Yeah, now they've got this god. It looks like fucking Vishnu or something like that with the multiple arms. But I'm not really a big expert on ancient Cambodian gods and that. So yeah, I'm going to sound like a complete idiot throughout the rest of this little part. But now they realize they've got the swords as well, and fit them into place. And
yeah, because it actually really reminded me of the Kali figure from Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Yeah, the multiple arms with the swords as well. That was a great scene. I need to watch that again.
I mean, to be fair, there's going to be a lot of crossover between those cultures anyway, with borrowed and stuff like that. So, but yes, you are correct.
Wasn't the location that they used for this? Wasn't it that? Oh my God, is it Angkor Wat? Is it the big temple in Cambodia that they used on location? Was it Angkor Wat?
I think so, because when I first saw the exterior shots, I was like, "Oh, that's Cambodia." So I think it is. Yeah, I think Angkor Wat is that the capital of Cambodia. I'm not sure now.
Probably, but this scene does show
Phnom Penh, isn't it? Phnom Penh.
Okay.
But it does show that Alex does know his history as well. It's like it's showing that he does know his stuff because. Yeah, they're obviously hiring him because he knows this stuff. He just doesn't see the significance in it the way Lara Croft does.
He's a foil for Lara Croft, isn't he? He's probably her equal in many ways. He's gone a different way.
But this is where it does feel a little bit like the video game where Lara Croft's just looking around and she's noticing something there, like a little clue, like this little eye on the wall, and she looks around and. Yeah, this is where it looks like the all-seeing eye can fit into something now. They found out
this is the longest 2 minutes in cinema history.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Oh, come on, guys, we've got 2 minutes," and then it goes on forever.
Yeah,
but all those hieroglyphs and everything they, as I said before, they cover the entire set. I mean, they were everywhere. Hundreds of thousands of, probably not handmade, but certainly hand pressed. I would suggest that they probably had some kind of, I don't know, stencil or something that they just pressed
Yeah,
into
churning them out.
the plaster and concrete.
Yeah, but it does look pretty good as well. Like, it looks a little bit dusty as well. You've seen little bits of bands hanging down, everything. And
I wonder if
they
they
were all rubber.
afterwards, or if it was kept to repurpose for another film.
No, they weren't. In fact, I was there for the set strike when the sets were struck, and it absolutely gutted me.
That sucks.
I was on something else, and saw saw these amazing sets just being ripped out and put in a
You
big
think one
bonfire.
savvy producer would be like, I can save money by using these sets and doing a bit of redressing and a bit of rearranging. And
it's funny you say that. That was something that I actually used to do for smaller budget productions.
Okay.
I mean, it was just kind of a little bit of I suppose, a sideline, if you like.
Yeah.
That I used to approach major productions who were having a set strike at the time. For anyone who's watching who doesn't know what a set strike is the deconstruction or destruction of an existing set after you've finished principal photography. So when the set struck, the only thing that's really repurposed is the scaffold poles, all of the support poles. Everything else is just ripped out, put in a great big bonfire, or it used to be a big bonfire on the back lot. But now it's just sort of put in crushers, taken away. A lot of wood's been gets put into wood chippers, etc. But yeah, it was something that I used to do. I used to have a lot of sets repurposed for smaller productions in order to save on
it happens a lot in TV. I know that a lot of TV shows repurpose sets. Especially within a franchise. Star Trek's famous for it.
Yeah. I mean, that's. I think if you've got something that's ongoing like that, then absolutely. I mean, I've repurposed. I can give you a whole list of things that I've repurposed things from. Anything from Birds of a Feather. I'm sorry, I did work on that. Birds of a Feather to Jeeves and Wooster. Neither of you probably remember those.
Yes, I remember both.
My mum used to watch it a lot, and they ended up watching it anyway. So,
Jeeves and Wooster was Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of episodes of that. It's a nice show. Good show.
It's the Essex Birds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tracy and Sharon.
Yeah.
It's Linda something, and I can't remember the other one.
Yeah, Pauline Quirk.
That's it, Pauline Quirk.
Yeah.
What
a right load of old rubbish.
Yeah. No, I don't think I ever really watched it. I did watch Jeeves and Wooster though. That was fun.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Those two are always good. There was they were kind of a really good twosome, especially when with that bit of Fry and Laurie there.
Oh my god, brilliant.
Yeah, back when the BBC used to make fucking good comedies, it's
yes. I could do a whole stream talking about just Red Dwarf and Blackadder. I swear to God.
Yeah, and I was just talking about the guy who plays Mr. Pims from was on Green Wing as well, and Black Box that episode. Yeah,
I can't remember his name. The red-headed guy, long hair.
But this scene, this little, I like this little moment between her and Powell as well, where she's telling him it's a mirror image, and he thinks she's lying. He's like, "Listen, I need you to get the triangle piece so I can steal it from you later." Yeah, they're kind of honest with each other as well, a little bit about their intentions.
Yeah, she's sassy and confident. It's kind of also like that James Bond vibe, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get a bit of that. And also Indiana Jones as well. Indiana Jones used to do a lot of this kind of stuff. So
and it kind of
Nick, what's a Blackadder? Oh dear.
It's
another time,
really
man. Another time.
Really fun. Check it out, man. You don't have to start series 1, but series 2, 3, and 4 are really.
Honestly, skip series 1 if I was you.
Yeah,
some good stuff, but they didn't get the formula right. Blackadder is an absolutely fantastic British BBC comedy from the 80s, 90s.
80s. Yeah.
Yes. That's all we do. Shout, and more shouting.
Yeah, Brian Blessed. It's probably the reason that the first season's worth watching is for Brian Blessed, to be honest. But
yeah,
I like one of my favourite episodes of the Blackadder is the Witch Smeller Pursuivant with Frank Finlay. I think it's absolutely hilarious.
Which one? Sorry.
It's called the Witch Smeller Pursuivant.
Oh yes, from,
yeah.
from first,
Just such a brilliant episode.
Yes,
Such a brilliant episode.
The first one's definitely got some good stuff. It's just they didn't quite have the dynamic of Baldric being the idiot and Blackadder being the smart dude, right? They reversed it.
Yeah, the fourth one is when it really gets a little bit more dramatic as well. Even though it's still funny, you can see there's a lot of anger in that as well, especially the way the soldiers were treated during them days in World War
I think Blackadder Goes Forth is it's more than just a good comedy. I think it's an important comedy.
Yeah, it's very important.
No, it's like it's funny as well, but it calls out the bullshit that the fucking generals. The stupidity of and the arrogance.
It's very scathing of the way the war. I mean, he actually says, somebody goes, "Oh yeah, it's Bob, isn't it?" She's like, "Oh, I want to see how a war could be fought so badly." And then Blackadder just goes, "Well, you're in luck. A war hasn't been fought this badly since." And then he comes up with some simile or something. Blackadder is incredible.
And you're right. I think you're absolutely spot on with that assessment, really, to say that it's an important comedy. Blackadder Goes Forth, it's kind of an anti-war satire. It's as good as any other anti-war satire that you could ever come across.
What he says, the reason we're at war because it was way too much of an effort not to have one.
Yes, it was easier to go to war than not to go to war. No, it's really good. Apart from aside from all the toilet humor and all the jokes and all that kind of stuff, there is an undercurrent going through that entire series of the futility and the pointlessness and the wastefulness of war, and it's brilliantly done.
It's one of those times where you kind of do want Blackadder to succeed as well because he knows it's bullshit. He's been there.
Oh yeah, he's trying to get out of it constantly. He's been there before, and he even says, like, back in the day, war was going to another small country, chucked spears at you and stealing all their stuff. It was easy. He goes, not like this. This is not right. This is just a waste of young men's lives. And that final episode in particular is so well done.
No, it's
so well done.
Yeah, just don't watch the actual footage of them falling down dead when they get shot. It's even Rowan Atkinson was watching it thinking, thank God they just froze
froze it at exactly the same right time, and it just fades to fields of poppies. If you've not seen it, Nick, definitely check out Blackadder. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, it's very emotional. The last one, it really is, and getting back, he eventually takes his faith on her and passes her the clock. And she puts it into the eye, and
I mean, this set had a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But now this fucking log's coming as well. Yeah. Now this log's come as well, and it has to pierce the end, but now it's slowing down, so she has to jump on it as well and give it.
This is the bit that Jolie did herself. Then.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Very cool. It was really incredible, and fair play to her for doing it.
Yeah, she gives 100% into this. She really does. You can really tell she wanted to get this right. And now we've got these statue bastards that are just starting to come alive as well from all this. It's and it's pretty fun action film. Once again, they do the smart thing of having the joints just sort of crack apart and dust fall off and little bits of stone fall off and everything. And
that's it. They move like statues. They don't move like.
No, that's what I'm saying. They've got that Ray Harryhausen kind of. Stop animation style. It's not too smooth. It's well done.
It does look dusty as well. They do look like they've been collecting dust over the years.
Yeah, the fidelity of the CGI is
the best. They're still trying to do some things right here.
Yeah, don't wrong. The scene looked dated. When I saw it, I was like, that's dated CGI, but it's not terrible. As I say, it's Marvel films don't look that good.
Because they have put work into it still, like the dust collecting off them when they get shot and the breaking parts, everything.
Yeah, someone animated it at the end of the day.
And this is like the trailer shot, isn't it? This hair just smiling, just while the thing lifts up his sword and she just pulls out a gun and just cool as a cucumber, blows its head off. And I think this is like the Indiana Jones moment where the guy's like swinging the sword around and Indy just shoots him.
Yeah.
That's what I was because he had dysentery at the time. He just didn't want to film it because half the crew came down with dysentery in India.
Yeah, but there is a scene as well where Powell just grabs a fucking henchman and lets him take the blade to the chest.
He's such a bastard.
Oh yeah, you love what a bastard he is.
I actually managed to, after the set was struck and everything, I managed to acquire one of the heads of one of the statues. So I've got one of those,
Awesome.
and a few other bits I
Not
can't
one of the
say.
swords, then, sadly.
No, but other bits that I can't really say.
Fair
I'm
enough.
afraid. I'll tell you later.
And yeah, this is like the Sinbad moment as well, where
Yeah, it really is.
the
Yeah.
statue just comes alive
Yes,
as well.
yes, exactly. Yes, it's kind of exactly what I got from it. It was just that Sinbad, Harryhausen stop animation.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, another reason to really like the film, I think. Whether or not it was
I like the fact
intentional.
that she practically empties a load onto one face, and it just turns around, and there's
Yeah,
another.
because she's left-handed, she has to have custom guns made.
Yeah, I love that little contraption on the backpack, because when I first watched this a few
Yeah,
times, I
that's
was
really
wondering,
cool.
yeah, I was like, what? Wait, what's popping out? How was that thing popping
Reloading
out?
thing.
And then I realised she's got a backpack.
That definitely wasn't in the game.
Oh yeah, but here's a nice little addition as well. I mean,
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
yeah, I like it. I like it.
It's a nice little cool sort of looking cool scene as well, which is nice, you know.
Yeah. And that was shot where Daniel Craig has already grabbed the clock as well, Dad's clock, and she's now got the triangle. And now they're in a bit of a pickle because Lara Croft has something Powell wants, and Powell has something Lara Croft wants. So now they're going to have to try and work with each other as well. And obviously, we get a moment with Alex that he should shoot Lara Croft right now and get the triangle, but he can't because there's a little bit of history there, and he hesitates. She dives down the waterfall, and
what I really like in that is when she does the dive, she does it exactly like she does in the games.
Yeah,
swan dives it.
Yeah, there is still little hints that you miss as well. Like when she's smashing up the clock at the beginning of the film, Chris Barry shields his face with the.
That's right, like the butler
with the
does
tray,
in the game
doesn't
when you shoot him. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a nice little hint as
Nice
well.
little touches that fans will see. Yeah, it's cool. Again, I presume that was a stunt woman and not Jolie herself.
But now she has to get in contact as well because of course
and this was all of this is real Cambodian Buddhist monks.
Yeah, I remember.
They blessed the film production and everything.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it's been a while since I watched the featurette. It was years ago, actually nearly 20 years ago as well. But that's just brought it back to me. Yeah, you're right there.
All legit, and they blessed the film production and everything like that. So
yeah, for what price? I'd like to know.
Oh yeah, sure. There'd be a donation to the temple.
Yeah,
a hefty donation, I'm sure.
Yeah. But it's I think this is obviously where she really develops her love for Cambodia. I think
it is. Yeah, she said so. Yeah.
Well,
she ended up going back there for I think mine detecting or she was doing the mine detecting, but she went out there to go and support it or something.
Yeah.
And I think she ended up adopting a couple of Cambodian kids.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, she adopted the motherfucking lot of Cambodian kids, man.
I'd like to go to Cambodia, but I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to go there looking for spiders. So, I haven't really got the same reservations. Good spiders out there.
Yeah, so she's now at the with the monks, and he's just relaxing, getting a nice massage and everything. He's like,
he's such a sleaze bag. He really is. Ian Glenn plays it so well.
He cracks me up every time I watch his.
He's loving it.
He's obviously having fun. Yeah, I'd love to see an interview on Ian Glenn about this. I don't know if this might have been one of his most fun characters to play, but and he's done a lot better as well since he was like in Game of Thrones after, and he's really good in that show.
Oh, he got a lot of recognition from Game of Thrones.
Oh no,
lot of recognition.
Yeah, because like I said, they need each other now. They need something, and there was a line that was in the actual trailer, which I think was cut out, where it goes, "You're going to try to kill me, aren't you?" He was like, "I never kill a lady," and she's like, "I said you try." Yeah, I don't know why they cut that out. That was a cool line.
Loads and loads of cut material for this film, and sadly, it never got done.
But that happens all the time, doesn't it? It's
well, it didn't help that Simon West was fired post-production because he had a big falling out with the editor. Because Stuart Baird was brought in to cut the film down, because it was kind of his thing. I think it was Stuart Baird. And Simon West clashed with him, and basically Paramount went with the editor and said, "You're fired, get off until we need you for reshoots," kind of thing.
But I mean, it's not an uncommon thing.
No, I imagine not.
I mean,
Well, yeah, there's been a lot of times where directors have been like, look at the Island of Dr. Moreau. The director proper got kicked off because of, I think it was because of Val Kilmer or Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah, it's Richard Stanley, wasn't it? And then replaced by John Frankenheimer.
Yeah, and he actually showed up on their set in disguise as an extra to call Val Kilmer an asshole.
Yeah.
Hell.
Not that he holds a grudge or anything like that,
Have you seen the documentary Lost Soul?
No, I've not seen it yet. I've seen Drinker's video on it, though.
I watched Drinker's production hell on it.
Yeah, I was cracking up laughing. Oh, it was. Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's an amazing documentary. It's one of the best film documentaries that I've ever seen.
Oh, cool.
And there are quite a few very, very good ones.
Yeah, because it's usually these disaster films always end up making fascinating stories to be made about them, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the best film making of documentaries, that really show the disasters. I think there's one on Heaven's Gate. I think it's called Final Cut. I think there's the documentary on the making of Fitzcarraldo, which is excellent, an excellent documentary. Obviously, you have Hearts of Darkness, the Apocalypse Now documentary.
Yeah, that's Lost. I need to watch that.
Marlon Brando slowly but slowly going crazy.
Lost Souls. Obviously, the Island of Dr. Moreau documentary, where Marlon Brando also slowly but surely goes slightly crazy. And what's the other one? Lost in La Mancha, which is a fantastic documentary. About the
because he really started to not give a shit after Apocalypse Now, didn't he? He's like, he was one of those actors that was always giving it 100%.
He was always very hard to work with.
Yeah.
Very hard to work with. He was infamous for it.
Yeah.
We'll get a little bit of exposition on her dad as well. Apparently, she's mostly been warned not to go because, these are like powers that mankind should never have. And now we cut to the Illuminati, and Lara Croft has found a way into the Illuminati. And like, how the fuck shouldn't they have like the highest security there? She's just like bypassed all of it, shit like that. It's but it does give them a little bit of time to know each other as well. And obviously, these two are like the flip sides of the same coin as well. Like he's obsessed with this thing as well, but he's in it for the power. She just wants to see her dad again. She wants.
Yeah, it's a cool little scene as well, because up until now we've not seen this character, and I can't remember his name, but we've not seen him do anything. He's been lounging around, he's been chilling out and stuff like that. But in this scene, we actually learn that he is very competent and he is actually a threat.
Yeah, I mean, he did handle himself pretty well in the temple, even though he used one of his cards as a human shield. He uses cards. Always cracks me up. Always cracks me up.
That's so good. Operation Human Shield.
But we do get a little bit of Lara Croft trying to push his buttons a bit as well. Like, who sits here? And she asks him twice. I know, he avoids it. And finally she says, I don't think you sit here, do you?
She works out so much about it. She's really, really intuitive, which is really cool. But nobody's like, nobody's going, oh, Lara Croft, you're so intuitive. She just shows it.
I know. And
getting right into his head and working him out straight away.
Yeah, and he does the same as well. He does the same as well, because now he starts using her father as a way to get her to help him even more.
Yeah, the back and forth is really quite cool.
Yeah. And the fact that he uses her father's name as saying he was in the Illuminati and he mentored him as well. I mean, that fucking breaks her a little bit. You can really see it as well. Her coolness has just started to she's starting to lose her coolness a little bit now. She is showing some vulnerability.
Yeah, it's a really cool back and forth. I really like it. I think as much as the script isn't great overall, and the plot certainly isn't great, there are definitely moments in this film where you're like, oh, that was a really nice little scene, And it's not just the ones where Angelina Jolie's running around in a tight tank top. So you know,
I know, yeah, and it does develop them out a little bit as well. And
fair play. Yeah, no, there's some, there is some genuinely good stuff in this film, and I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, it does actually hold up to a certain extent. That, you know, there is more to the film than just, you know, tits and guns and running around and stuff. It has got a little bit of depth, but it's just, it was made at that time when all the films were like this. So, you know, it's just a product of its time, really.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, there is a few holes. I mean, like, how the fuck did she snuck into the actual Illuminati?
Massive plot holes all the way through it.
Yeah, but yeah, you let it go a little bit because
I mean, you know,
I didn't notice it as a kid. I've only just noticed it now. And oh yeah, out of the shot, I forgot to put in where Lara Croft throws a knife at the Illuminati eye, and
that's what I'm saying. He throws another one, so he's sort of showing that, you know, he is competent. He can, you know, he can be a threat.
And I think she is actually resisting as well because, you know, even if I do help you, you'll try to kill me later anyway. It's like, I could kill you now, you know. I could just kill you now, but...
Yeah, she's no fool.
I know, but he knows that she'll help him because she wants to see her dad again, and he knows it.
That's one of the annoying things is like all these people, these activists and stuff are like, oh, you know, Lara Croft's just a bimbo. She's just sex appeal on legs, and we need to make her an activist and make, you know, she's not a good representation for women. She fucking is. She's sexy, smart, intuitive, cultured, all these kind of things. She's a great role model. It's just they just didn't get it.
Yeah, and this is obviously not the scene where, if Barbara Broccoli said this was the scene that wanted her to cast Daniel Craig as Bond, I wouldn't be surprised. But no, that's not the case. But
no, and apparently this was a different. I remember reading there was a different scene where he was meant to be left naked on a mountain or something. They replaced it with this scene.
Yeah, but it's just a short scene as well, just for Lara to say, you know, are you on my side or are you actually against me? You know,
yeah, it's another.
Yeah, she even falls on me a little bit.
Character development.
Yeah, it's only a short scene as well, though. But hey, it gets the girls to see fucking Daniel Craig naked. So yeah, because we've seen Angelina Jolie give the fucking bears in gear
something for the ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, the guys, I'm not going to judge.
And this is the scene where he probably could kill Lara now because he actually hands over the triangle as well, and
he knows he's going to need her to get the second triangle, though. He knows it. He knows it. You know, whatever else and whatever his
he's smart enough to realize that,
I think she is his superior. You know, she is not his superior, but she is she's better than him.
Yeah, because he hates his boss. Yeah, you can hit Powell hates his boss because I should be in power, not this guy.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. And yeah, I like this little line with Bryce saying, time to save the world again, Lara. And it's like, this is the first film. You know, say that in the sequel. Say that in the sequel.
Bit of 9 Inch Nails for the soundtrack here.
Yeah. Because it almost sounded a little bit like Portishead as well. Like,
yeah, no, it's 9 Inch Nails. Years and years before Trent Reznor would win the Oscar for Social Network, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah. He did a lot for David Fincher, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, I think he did.
He's quite an established composer now, Trent Reznor. He's done very well.
Yeah. Yeah, even like the Johnny Cash cover of Hurt, it's a really good one. And
it's amazing.
It's very good. And then Johnny Cash came back, and as I say, just took the song away from him because Johnny Cash's rendition is absolutely phenomenal. And I like the 9 Inch Nails version. I've seen it live many times, but Johnny Cash.
I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I do like the Johnny Cash version. However, I think the 9 Inch Nails version for me, I think is the pinnacle. I think it's really incredible.
It's amazing, especially when he does it live.
The always does win. The original always does win, and because I think it's different meanings for people with 9 Inch Nails. It was about heroin addiction, wasn't it? Or
well, the thing is with Johnny Cash is he's dying, and you know he's dying.
Yeah,
and it just adds, and he knows he's dying, and it adds a whole different dynamic to the song. So I would go as far as to say that they're nearly completely different songs. There is one hell of a rendition, but yeah, when Reznor does it live, oh man, I never saw the the Lollapalooza one where he was really, really young. He's like almost having a breakdown on the microphone, but it's one hell of a song. It really is. But yeah, the one for this, Deep, is quite good as well.
Yeah. Now, was you on there? Was you in this scene inside, man, for any of the shows? Because
this is all on location in Iceland, isn't it?
The not on the location stuff in Iceland, but it was all the interior stuff at the orrery.
And that was back in Pinewood, I take it.
And that was back in Pinewood. That was actually, believe it or not, the Cambodia and the orrery set. This just goes to show you exactly how big the Bond stage is. They were part of a composite set, so they both backed onto each other. That's how big the Bond stage is.
Holy
Those
crap.
sets were back to back. They were both constructed at the same time. Yeah. So
That
it's a
orrery
pretty
looks
big.
like the kind of thing that would break down a lot.
Not while I was there. It was, constantly working. It was.
Oh, cool.
It wasn't quite so cold for some unknown reason. Mind you, we had a lot of. We were wearing all the sort of black tactical.
I was going to say, yeah,
you
weren't dressed. You weren't dressed for Cambodia. You were dressed for Iceland.
Yeah, and so we had the woolly hats and the sort of tack vests and.
It must have been a bit better than Cambodia because that way you could actually wrap yourself up warm and.
Yeah, it was much better. I remember I did have my thermal long johns actually for both of those shoots, for both the Cambodia and the other shoot, the Iceland shoot, the orrery. But that set was just amazing, especially to watch it, in full function.
Moving around and stuff. Yeah, and that was an incredible looking set. It really is.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And I was on top of the waterfall. I had my little...
Oh, she was up there with like the 5-6 dudes.
Yeah.
With the laser sights.
With the laser sights, I was just going to say, yeah. Yeah, so I was there, sort of, yeah. And that was amazing, obviously, the waterfall coming down, we're standing there as it's all coming down, flows into the pool around the orrery.
Yes.
And to create the, I suppose the steam and everything that's coming off the water or the, the spray of water, what they did was they chucked in buckets of chalk dust.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then they turned on the water, so as the water come down and hit the chalk dust, so you had these sort of plumes of what looked like water spray coming up, so it was literally just chalk dust.
See, that's what I love about production stories is all the ways they find to do things. It's great. It's so cool.
Yeah, like being resourcefulness, especially if they don't have the budget to do something, but they have to do it. So they try and find a way.
Roger Corman was just a master of it, an absolute master of just making do and finding a way.
Yeah, Sam Raimi, when he was doing the first Evil Dead movie, I mean, you really do appreciate the fucking time and effort they did to really try and make it work with little resources.
Couldn't afford to be lazy back then.
No. Yeah, I mean, this is.
Yeah, but did you ever get to speak to any of the locals around here, or is it just like just sets built around that location?
It was all in Pinewood.
All the stuff that was. I mean, obviously you had the location stuff that was in Iceland, and I was obviously nowhere near there. So so none of the Iceland stuff. I mean, I wasn't there for any of the Iceland location shoots. I think they actually recruited a lot of actual local Icelandic people to kind of double up for us. So when we get back to, the actual orrery set, so we're kind of, similar builds and all of that kind of stuff. But yes, I only did all the UK stuff.
Yeah, but okay, so now we're up to where it's coming close to the climax now, and Lara's already come across this. Has she come across this kid? This is where she comes up to the kid as well.
Yes, it's kind of the same thing as in Cambodia, but it's not really. It's not really dwelt upon. Whether
know,
it's
it
power
kind
of
of
the
just.
triangle or what.
I know you're wondering who this kid is though, but she knows a lot already, and then she's
I mean,
obviously pulling
is it
Lara
is
out
it
on her pain a bit as well. Like she's only
Almost like,
doing
is it
this.
a conscience
is
and
it a
stuff like that?
subconscious? Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
sort of, the kind of, the little sort of demons on her shoulder. Somebody
Yeah.
trying to
It's
tell
not
her
really
something. It's
explained.
her.
I get the feeling that's something that Simon would have, had in the film
Yeah,
that got cut out, maybe.
yeah, I think so.
once again, the blue jasmine shows up as well, like the same
Yes.
flowers that she put on her father's grave. And this is where they head to the.
I love those vehicles as the amphibious vehicles. I'm not sure what they are, but they are so cool. The water boat type things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
love them.
fucking awesome as well, mate. They look like there's no CGI as well. They're actual
Nope.
vehicles
Yeah,
there now.
no, it's all physical.
And yet, this is a really good set as well. These like this
It's an amazing set. Absolutely
big
amazing.
revolving thing. This big revolving thing here. That's
Good chunk of the budget right there, I would think.
exactly. It's obviously symbolized. It's obviously working as its way as like something where the planets are aligned, and it's. If this was in a game, this would be a bit of a pain in the ass to do a bit as well because
No, this is what I really. It is another nod back. I mean, I don't think there was anything exactly like this in the game, but there were certainly things like this in the game, and it did remind me of that whole. One of the things I loved about Tomb Raider was when you walked into a tomb for the first time, and you were like, or like a room in the tomb, and you're like, "What? I need to get to there. How the hell do I get to there?" And normally it's diving through like circular blades and all that kind of crap with horrible controls and timing and stuff. But that was one of the things that I really loved about those games, was just like the working the puzzle out. And yeah, you quite often have something like this in there, which was kind of cool, really.
Yeah, there's also a few things where she came to some conclusions a bit too soon, like putting the clock right at the bottom of it as well, which we see later. And it's like, okay, how did she figure that out? Did she notice something? Have I missed any shots, even though I've seen it a few times?
Yeah, it's like when you find out whether how to complete the triangle, and it's just like, that was a very innocuous little line that you worked that out from.
But yet,
the story in this film is not its strong point. The writing is,
Yeah, we could have used a few shots where she did notice something and she didn't think it was a big deal. But then when it came to the actual trying to find out how to get the second piece out, that's when she started to realise it. And it probably would have made it a little bit more better as well, a bit more plausible.
I think so. I think it would have. I think it would have added more to the film than it could have detracted if they'd left that stuff in. But at the end of the day, the editor makes decisions. The studio certainly wants it to be a certain length. They don't want it to go over that length. So
yeah. I think we
need
a good little timeline, don't we? We need a nice little middle ground between the stuff that Simon West wanted to keep in and the stuff that the studio would only allow to keep in.
Yeah.
So we can get, and it probably would add more context, but that's the way things go sometimes.
Yeah, the thing is, I kind of feel that's what directors' cuts are for, and it's kind of a shame that this never really got one. Again, whether or not it was due to the beef that Paramount and Simon had. He didn't Alan Harris or anything like that, so it wasn't that level, but it would have been nice to see, I think.
Yeah, because we're also finding little bits like there's little pockets of time as well, like the dog jumps through, and you can see its anatomy and
everything broken up, a little bit of CGI there.
I love how Pims and Bryce are just sat there, just waiting, aren't they? They aren't really arguing or going heads to heads. They're just waiting for their own fucking employers or their friends. So now they have to try and find the second piece of the triangle, and all these men are trying to get on. Lara Croft's trying to get on. Alex is getting on, and they're all getting fucking killed by these revolving. And
they're not very good at it. Again, did Jolie do a lot of this kind of stuff Inside Man, or?
Yeah, yes, she did. Yeah, she was really good, really, really active in this. Really active. I mean, I think she had a couple of stunt doubles. Like I say, one of them, I just remember that her name was Eunice something or other.
Okay.
And she's a very, very famous stunt performer. I can't remember her entire name, but I know it's Eunice something. But yeah, I think she actually did as much as she possibly could, which was quite a lot, considerable amount.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be certain things that the studio or insurers are just going to be like, no, sorry, it's just not happening. But
For
no, it's
example,
cool.
for example, that sort of log thing, the big kind of, battering ram
Yes,
thing that she wrote. There was absolutely zero way that the production, as you quite rightly say, would have insured her for that, and it was an on the fly thing. It was just a literally, an on the day. Unfortunately,
make it
you know,
happen.
yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of
Stunt
strange
performer
having a stunt woman with motion sickness, to be honest.
I mean, a lot of people, a lot of stunt performers do have it because of the kind of things that they have to do. But it's because they're trained to do specific things, aren't they? Like
Right, yeah. So you've got one that's
high
good at
falls or
falls and going
burns,
through
yeah,
windows and
burns,
stuff like
and
that.
Yeah,
yeah,
so is
big
it case
stunt.
like so is it like if stuntman has done a lot of stunts involving falling, do they end up getting vertigo or something like that maybe in the end?
No, I don't think it's anything like that. It's see with this, it's I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't go on a swing. I can't go on a child swing. Not that
Yeah.
I've been on a child swing for a long time,
No, I know what you
but
mean. I can go on the
uh,
fastest roller coaster in the world,
yeah,
but if you put me on one of those pirate ships,
yeah,
lurches, I
yeah,
can't stand it. So I know what you mean.
yeah. Well, it's funny when I remember. This is just sorry, I'm sidetracking slightly, but my
Charlotte,
niece
near the
was
end of the film.
my
Yeah, we're getting
niece
to
my
end of
niece
the
was
film. We can go a little bit. It's all right.
my niece was I think she was like 3 years old, and there was like a little sort of local fair turned up, so it was a local fete, and they had one of those little teacup rides, yeah, for little kids.
Oh,
And
it
of
goes
course
round.
my niece wanted to go on this little teacup ride, and of course I was there with my parents and what have you, my sister and brother-in-law. So I've gone on this teacup ride with my niece, and I started feeling really fucking sick. Anyway, my mum has gone over to the guy who runs the teacup ride, and she said, "Oh, can you? I don't suppose you could stop the ride to let my son get off." She said, "Oh, which little boy is your son?" And she said, "It's that man. It's that man over there." so, so I had to get off this teacup ride, I was really ill,
Slowly
really
turning
fucking ill.
green.
Yeah. And I can't go on swings either. So,
There's some types of motion, isn't there? Let's say
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
lurching motion for me.
yeah,
That pirate
yeah,
ship, it's where it goes. It's not actually the swing. It's where it goes up,
mm,
stops,
yeah,
and then swings down.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what gets me every
yeah,
single time.
yeah,
Feel like I left my
yeah.
stomach behind. I remember I went on the interactive virtual reality not Lord of the Rings, War of the Worlds experience,
Mm, mm, mm.
and they do the Thunder Child bit with the
Oh, right.
tripods.
Okay.
But
Yeah, yeah,
you're in a small rowboat going round of the Thunder Child as it's all happening,
yeah,
and they have kind of a wave motion generator.
yeah.
And yeah, I lost it.
Oh my God.
I threw up in the middle of it. It's fucking horrible because if you've got the
Yeah,
VR already, which is disorientating you, but
yeah.
then you've got that motion on top of that of the waves, and it's don't be
Yeah.
wrong, it's very clever and very good. But
Wow.
And
coming
I've only had like
from a family of sailors, I do not have sea legs.
I've only had like a few experience on the VR machines, and it was just the testers in CEX, and I tried to do a driving game, but I was kind of always tipping over a little bit because
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
like
stuck
them.
doing it.
I don't like them at all.
Yeah,
I'm not good with VR, not in that full body kind of way.
yeah, I think it's weird. It's a weird thing for the body to get used to. I don't know if it takes a little bit of time. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
really.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now Lara's got the second half of the triangle now, and now they can finally get things going. They can finally do the fucking timey-wimey
Yeah,
manipulate.
lucky because the eclipse is almost over. That clock,
Yeah.
very dodgy clock,
And then
is.
and then you got this guy fucking making this big speech, and he's like, "We're on the fucking clock again." Yeah,
It's so
we could just assemble
stupid.
these triangles like we did. And Powell's just like, "Oh, enough of this bullshit," and just fucking tells these guys to fucking execute him. It's great.
Gun him down.
Yeah, this guy's wasting fucking time here. I don't care if he's the
Inside
fucking
man,
boss.
how could you? How could you gun that poor bastard down?
Well, in the words of Deadpool, you were droning on. But he tries to put the pieces together, and it's not working. And he knows something's up. He knows Lara's
Yeah,
doing
you
it.
see
So what
straight
he
away.
does,
So it's great acting what he does.
yeah. he gives her an incentive. He fucking nails fucking Alex in the chest with his knife, and it's a nice little payoff from when he threw the knife earlier. At
Yes,
the
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a setup and payoff there, isn't it? Shows that he is actually a threat, because otherwise you'd be like, if you hadn't had that scene, you might be like, well, this dude's just been like lying around all the time and not doing much, so it would seem a bit weird. So
yeah, because we still need to show that how ruthless he can be. I mean,
but he needs to be a threat to Jolie as well, because he is about to sort of give her a bit of a kicking sort of thing. And again, if you didn't have that scene, you might be like, well, this came out of nowhere. We've not seen him being particularly physical in any way.
Yeah. And I like the fact that the eye isn't just something that leads them to something. It actually does become more useful than something that opens
multi-level MacGuffin.
Yeah, it actually becomes useful because we don't know that yet, do we? But she knows.
I love this scene where she just goes, she's effectively just giving him a kiss because he dies anyway.
I know. Hey, if my fucking last kiss was with 2000's Angelina Jolie, yeah, I'd be happy to rock it after.
Go with a smile on your face.
Yeah, and it also goes back to the poem as well. It's not just a cool little mysterious thing that he's just told. It's actually a clue to something that
I think it's very, very tenuous. But you let it go, I suppose. Again, the writing is not. It's not done the legwork to for me to respect that moment, I suppose you would say. But you let it go. You're having fun with the film. You try not to think about it too much.
Yeah, like I said, the whole world in a grain of sand, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, a little bit of William Blake.
It's still a bit of a stretch as well, though. But
as I say, it's a massive stretch. But, you're having fun at this point. You're not thinking about it too much. It's sort of like there's so many films like this. I mean, God, even things like the Transformers films, which are awfully written, but you're watching giant robots beat the shit out of each other at the time. It's only after you get out of the cinema you're like, fucking hell. That writing is awful.
I think this is one of the few films where it does almost go down a bit. The ending isn't the best as it could have been.
No, I mean,
it looks a little bit fake for me and a bit rough.
You've got this whole scene here, and you're just like, what? That's just
I was a little bit like
completely pointless. She grabs the triangle and he just falls into nothing. But apparently he's fine. And what's going on while all this is going on?
She's not kick him in the face or anything to knock him down there. It's
really weird. Because what's going on? Is she in a trance while this is all going on, or is she like some kind of? It's not really explained. But again, it's not really the point. And I do like to think that there's some nice acting from Jolie here.
Oh yeah, there's this scene is actually very emotional.
This scene's really nicely done. She does this really cool little pout when she just goes, "It's not fair," and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." It's really nice.
Did you ever get to meet him though inside, man, John Voight? Because I know he's only in these few scenes, isn't he? But
no, I never got to. Unfortunately, I would have loved to. I mean, he was when I knew that he was going to be in it. I thought, Jesus Christ, this is John Voight. This is the John Voight. You know? But
must be after he was escorted from set.
But I would have loved to have met him. Really would have loved to have met him. But
I think his English accent is not the best. Though I will say that. But he's okay. It's not terrible. And he does.
Some of the delivery is. There's a bit where she goes, "I've missed you," and he says, "And I have missed you." And I'm like, "Fucking hell! Was there not a second take of that? Come on."
But also, how the fuck does he recognise his daughter as a grown-up? Is like, he's very cool. He's like, my daughter from the future has just shown up to tell me that she's travelled in town, and I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, don't fuck about with time. Go back and.
I kind of get the thing. It's kind of like a Nexus type thing rather than her going necessarily strictly back in time, because like nobody else notices it. I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird, but.
Yeah, it's like he was already expecting it as somewhere like this big town look where he has to know. I don't get it. It's a big plot hole.
The writing does not stand up to scrutiny. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I think going back to what you said about Simon West being kicked out of the editing, I think there might have been more stuff that would have given a bit more context to.
I'd like to think so. Yeah, I'd like to think so, because he was one of the writers as well, from what I remember. I think there's 5 writers on this film in total.
Yeah, even though he did like good dumb action flicks like The Mechanic and Con Air, he seems like a man who knows what he's doing when it comes to, especially when it comes to action movies. He still wants
I like
be
to think so. And when you're talking about the mechanic, I mean, that really is bare bones plot. That really is just Jason Statham running around doing his thing.
Yeah, and it's basically it's a remake of the Charles Bronson movie as well. So
yeah.
Michael Winner film.
Yeah. And I think he may well have tried to put a little bit of something extra into this film, and maybe the studio just decided that's not what they wanted to do. So
yeah,
he made the money, so I guess they're vindicated in one way.
Well. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that could have helped the ending, but it doesn't ruin the film for me, thankfully. It doesn't ruin the movie.
No, not at all. No, the film is what it is, and it does what it needs to do. I stand by that.
Yeah, but it is a good little lesson as well. Like, listen, I know time has been cruel, and we never ever got to know each other. But it's sometimes these things are how they are, and if you change time, then you just cause him just for your own.
Which part of the hero's arc, isn't it? The hero has to have a temptation that they will turn away from.
And the hero has to sacrifice that pain as well a little bit.
So this is that moment, and it's well done. This bit, she goes, she's not fair, and the way she pouts, it's really nice. It's,
she almost goes back to being a kid again as well. Like
almost, it's kind of there's a petulance there that was just like, oh, I like that. That's nice. It's nice.
And it's understandable as well, because I think this is when they'd only just realised they were daughter and father and daughter as well. So there is something genuine there between these two when they say these lines. I've missed you and that. They have actually had like time taken away from them. They barely knew each other as a family, and very sadly they're estranged from each other again because Angelina Jolie, she showed up at the premiere, tongue kissing her brother. It's really weird.
Yes, she's mad.
I love her as an actress, but that was just weird, man.
She's absolutely mental. So Sigourney Weaver, absolutely fucking batshit, that woman.
A lot of the actors are, though. A lot of actors are. Some are.
It does seem to be a thing. It really does. Whether it is the Hollywood effect or if it is the fact that they're crazy, it makes them good actors, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a thing. You're part with it.
Yeah, Ghost and the Craig, thanks for joining us as well. And Nix and Blue Collar Lows at Artilo, Toxic, and the Big Gooner. No one news popped on, so thankfully I haven't missed anyone. And I'll scroll through you a lot later as well when it comes to the end. So now she realised,
what I need to know is Blue Collar Loser entertained? Are we keeping him awake?
Are you not entertained?
Exactly. Oh God, Gladiator. So I saw the trailer for that the other day. Come on, Denzel, please just try and put some kind of accent on. Please. You're a great actor.
I thought that too. Although I've got to be honest with you, I don't like him.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I don't like him
as an actor or as a person.
Both, actually. Okay. Yeah,
I like him as an actor. Lord Toxic will be very upset because
I think he's a great actor. I can't really speak as a person, but he's not super outspoken in anything apart from he's obviously a devout Christian. He's not.
Yeah,
he's not massively outspoken. If he does talk about something, it does tend to be God.
I think. I think there's a level of sanctimony about somebody when Anyway, I'm not. Yeah, I'd love to talk about religion because it's one of my favourite subjects. Because I'm
we'll do another time. We'll do a religious stream. But
I'm not a religious man.
Passion of the Christ.
I really wish you'd put some accent on. And I don't know why we need a Gladiator 2, but Ridley Scott's hit and miss. So we'll see.
It's just an old director who's not had a hit in a while, and he's trying to sort of like go back to past glories. And
you say past glories. I think he's failed miserably with Alien, and he's going to go Gladiator. So we'll see.
But this scene I still thought this was pretty cool. This scene where it's going backwards and she's actually getting a knife a bit as well, and it's cutting her hand.
Grunting there from Angelina, and this is kind of cool.
Yeah, and she does make you feel the struggle she's doing when she's moving the knife. You see the blood running down, and
that's what I'm saying. She cuts herself up a little bit, and then she gets more beat up during the fight in the minute that follows. She's not like
and she destroys the fucking triangle. Now no one can mess about with time. And this bit always made me laugh as well. He actually has enough time to say no before the knife fucking flies back at him. It's like, no, that would never happen. That would never happen. That goes back to normal. The knife flies into your chest. You have no idea what the fuck just happened. But it doesn't kill him as well. And I like this. Yeah, this guy just fucks off as well. He's like, Yeah, he's no use to me now. I'm not going to get paid.
Yeah, that's the guy. I'd say apparently
Yeah.
Robert Phillips, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, but even wounded, he still tries to stick the knife in one more time, doesn't he? Saying, trying to get Lara to come back.
Yeah,
and
saying that your father begged or something like that, begged for his life.
Like a baby. So, yeah, you got to kick his ass.
Yep. And this is where we go absolutely 100% 101 early 2000s fight scene.
Yeah.
You know,
this scene,
her ass kicks a little bit and gets put down, and then she comes back and, you know, very,
before that,
members.
we've got this scene as well, and it feels really tacked on, and I think they should have just left it out.
Yes.
Just let Powell say his thing and have you come to the conclusion that he's lying just to fucking rile her up, and that's it. Because it looks so cheesy, it looks fake.
And it doesn't look good either.
I know, and I don't know if Simon West had any say in it. I don't know. It's
no idea. As I say, there was I don't think it's quite worthy of a production hell, but there was quite a lot behind the scenes of the pre-production of this film.
Yeah, but he obviously has had contact with his has killed her dad, and because he's got the fucking
and that is Linda Carter.
Yeah. Apparently, one of the apparently was it one of the stagehands or something? Someone.
Sorry, what? That person?
Yeah,
no, that's Linda Carter, Wonder Woman.
This Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder Woman. Yeah, fucking hell, Jesus! Oh man.
I will just sorry to name drop, but I did meet her.
Yeah. It's all right. I'm over it now. You can,
but not on this.
You didn't meet Christopher Lee, so it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
not
I'd still be crying.
and I got to be honest with you, one of the most beautiful women that I've ever laid eyes on. I mean, really, the most amazing eyes.
She still looks good. I mean, even Wonder Woman 84 was bad, but when I saw her in that and she made that little she has not changed. She's not.
And that was a next level bad film. That really was.
Oh, that was. I won't get further more into that because it was a total shit show.
Another day, maybe. I've ripped that apart for a long time.
Yeah, this is a cool scene as well. I mean, this is early 2000s. Just being fucking cool, but it's I love it.
Yeah.
No guns, just have a fucking one-on-one.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, and she handles herself well, but he handles himself back as well. She gets her ass kicked. She really does.
She does. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. She absolutely gets her ass kicked. Has her weak moment, has her down moment, comes back and goes, and it is 101 2000s fight scene.
I know. But she,
somehow still better than what we get these days, so that's fine.
And she does almost fucking look like she could lose as well. She gets a good kick in and she's winning.
She absolutely, he takes her apart a little bit. It's cool.
Yeah. Nix. Yeah, Nix is always Nix gets some fucking good comments in. What a lame name dropping. Tell us more. And he gets it, and even though it's not downright gruesome, it's still a pretty brutal way to kill someone. She just kind of breaks his neck or knocks
she just does his jugular, didn't she? With a side hand.
Yeah, I hold my neck every time I see that. I'm holding my fucking neck myself and trying to breathe. So I almost feel like I just got punched in the throat there and all.
Dramatic. As I say, there was obviously a cut of this film that was a lot more certainly sexy. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was also more violent, but studio decided they want that PG.
I mean, I'm sure that footage still exists somewhere. It's got to be somewhere because we kind of reached a point where, in actual fact, I think I'm not 100% certain, but I think that we actually shot this digitally. I think this was a digitally shot film. I can't recall seeing any 35 mil.
It's not bad actually. I mean, look, it looks like water. It doesn't look like CG water.
Some of the CG, there's a bit where the God, what's it called? The eye. There's a relief CG on the floor, and it's filling up with liquid.
Yeah, that did look very CG.
As hell. That looks like the blood from Blade. It's really bad, but no, not all of it's bad. It was limited by technology at the time, and they used CG, sparingly enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I can see the CG here with the cave coming in. So that does. I see it a little bit now. I see a little bit, yeah, because you can sort of tell by the way the light hits the dogs as well
Yeah,
in areas. And
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you got a screenshot of it, but there is that shot, and I think it's actually in Cambodia. I don't think it's here, where you've got something filling up with like a liquid.
Yeah,
it
I
might
think
be
I did
here.
earlier, but I know what you mean.
Yeah,
You know,
and it just
like,
looks
going all over
really
the
bad.
cracks in the floor, wasn't it? The liquid.
That's right. Yeah, and it does look dodgy. It does look dodgy.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, definitely does. But I think even in the 2000s, we kind of didn't mind it because.
yeah, it's just.
But if it's made today, if it looked like that today, that's inexcusable. Come on.
Yeah, I mean the worst CGI I've seen in recent years was the last Hellboy film. At the end of that, where the Ian McShane's character turns up attached to some smoke, and the smoke is some of the worst CGI I've ever seen. That was that kind of level. So
Yeah,
and Nick White Marvel CGI is awful. Even Deadpool and
the
Wolverine
low
has
budget
very
films that
bad
are getting,
CGI.
the low budget films are much fucking better than CGI these days
Yeah,
than the big budget ones because
absolutely.
they are underpaying their fucking staff and overworking them. I mean, they're actually paying
And they're making the films in a more intelligent way. They're pre-vising. They know exactly what they want. Marvel are changing everything every 5 seconds.
I know.
And
There's no communication as well.
There is a scene in, as I say, the new Captain America film where it looks so fake, and that's just a trailer. And I'm like, can you not even get a good bit for the trailer? I know it's probably early days, but just don't put it in. It makes your film look worse. And that film's going to struggle to make a profit as it is.
That fucking marketing in, because that's the idea. Marketing is what sells, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the trailer is the advert for your film. It's going to be hard enough to get people in the door anyway without it looking fake and crap.
Yeah. I do love how Angelina Jolie gets a nice bit of an adrenaline rush as well.
Yeah, she's loving it.
She's I would recommend people.
She is an adrenaline junkie, and it's not as creepy as fucking Galadriel on that horse.
Oh yeah, that really ruined their fucking character as well, because Galadriel's not some person that fucking goes in there for a fight. She's strong just by speaking and asserting
power is fan fiction, and you can't convince me anything else.
Yeah,
it's bad fan fiction. I ignore it completely. I'm not even sure if I'm going to bother watching the new one.
Yeah, plus it does mean she's got some closure now with her dad. She got to see him one last time, and she's now accepting his loss and ready to move on. Yeah,
a bit of rounding off for the character, and she's not. I mean, she's not a two-dimensional character in this. They do some work and they do some effort to make her likable, and she has facets. Nobody's going to say that it's an amazing character study, and it's not going to get brought up in philosophy debates or anything like that. But she's certainly not two-dimensional, and like we get a lot of characters these days.
Yeah, and I love the look on Chris Barry's face. Is like, maybe my methods of trying to ground her a little bit more and to get her to calm down maybe working, but it looks like that as well, because.
And she looks fucking hot in that dress as well. I mean, come on, she looks good in that dress.
Yeah, she does, and she's got some closure now. She's going to accept. She's accepting loss now, and she can be ready to move on and try and make something with her life, but not before she gets to do a bit of kick-ass training again, Lara Croft style. And there's good old Simon popping out as well, ready to get fucking riddled with
abused again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't get the
shot of bridge from a Solo movie. Droid right.
Yeah, one thing I did not get the shot of Bryce taking a picture of Lara Croft in the dress, which was another funny moment as well. It's like his way of taking the piss out of her a little bit, but still having some affection towards her, and like a friend.
There's a nice character dynamic there between the three of them.
Yeah,
it really is.
The dog.
There's no way that would happen these days. No way.
They don't overdo him either. They don't overdo Chris Barry as the butler or Bryce. Noah Taylor as Bryce. It's.
I was legitimately surprised not to see Chris Barry in more films after this. I thought, oh wow, he's got his break. Now he's going to start doing some movies, and no, basically.
But they're still doing Red Dwarf, which
there's a new Red Dwarf coming next year.
Yeah, there's another series coming next year.
I think it's just a few specials. But I think
because I don't think they can do a proper series. I don't think they can do a proper series anymore.
They'll get too old, mate. Danny John Jules is 60 something.
Yeah, they're all old now. So yeah, I don't blame them for wanting to just do specials now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because a full series is must be exhausting work as well, especially when it's taking a lot of time out of your day.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, I also like Red Dwarf. Not all of it's brilliant, but the recent ones have been okay. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, there was a little bit better. Yeah, they were a little bit better than series 7 and 8. I'll give them
exactly.
that.
Yeah, exactly that. I didn't mind The Promised Land, and I'd rather get something like that every few years than them trying to knock out a series and only half of it being good or something like that. You know, so. Yeah, it's fair enough. It can't go on forever. Let's face. What I hope they don't do is try and modernize it and reboot it or anything like that. I don't want that.
I hope not.
I want these characters and these actors to just, fade out gracefully and all to be over in whatever 5 years, whatever more we get. So yeah, it's all good.
So next, I kind of do agree with you. I mean, even though they were limited at the time, and yet they do look better than stuff now. It's just because Marvel's much more overworked now and underpaid. And they're constantly changing everything. But at least back in the 2000s, they had some form of communication with what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it is the way that Marvel makes films more than anything else.
It's like
the standard way that you would make a film is you would plan everything out, you would previs everything. You would have your shots worked out in advance by your director. And one of the problems is now when they get directors in because of the name of that director. That director does not film the action shots. They get a separate director in for the action shots. And because there's no communication and they don't know what the action shots are going to look like, it ends up being stupidly expensive. And it's such a bad way to make films. Such a bad way to make films.
Are you talking about second unit directors?
Well, I don't know if they're second unit directors, but I can tell you that when Marvel have had directors come in because they want a name. So, for example, Chloe Zhao won the Oscar for Nomad. So Marvel were, oh wow, we can get a female director in, with loads of pedigree.
Yeah.
But she's not used to directing action or anything like that. So they actually got somebody else in to direct the action scenes.
That's generally the case.
Is that what normally happens?
That's pretty much always the case. Yeah. That's exactly what a second unit director's job is. Second unit is also known as the action unit. So all the action shots are shot by a second unit director or the
even
action.
Even like a John McTiernan case or something like that.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends. Look, if it's an intimate action scene, then it's a completely different thing. If it's an action scene that actually does involve the principal artists,
right?
And that's when you'll get the actual director. But
Gotcha.
in terms of if you have doubles, stunt doubles, stand-ins,
right, got you. Almost like pickup shots and stuff.
Yeah, not really. I mean, the bulk of the action that you actually see, the bare bones of it that you see with the actors when you see the actor's face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really a minimal amount. I mean, you rarely see the actor in most of the action scenes. Let's face it.
Yes, yeah, unless it's a close-up shot, as you say.
Yeah, or unless it's a Tom Cruise movie.
yeah.
But yeah, that is generally how it works. The second unit director will do all of the action, and that'll be car chases, stunts. Yeah, pretty much all of that. But as I say,
that sounds like the fun stuff to me.
Yeah, that is the fun stuff, and that's the best second unit directors that you'll ever get are former stunt performers.
Okay.
They understand it, don't they? They understand the risks a lot more than
without a doubt. Without a doubt, it's precisely that. So, first and foremost, the thing that's on their mind is always the safety.
Yeah.
But the amount of stunt performers that have gone on to become very, very good and very, very competent second unit directors. Just a huge amount. I mean, they're brilliant. They're better than any other second unit director or action unit director you'll ever find. It's always going to be a former stunt performer.
I kind of figured that the second unit directors would just carry on while the first one was taking a break, because obviously they can't film 24/7. So.
No, but that's
or if the film falls behind or something.
No, it's right. So like so how it works is you are constantly filming. It doesn't matter whether it's the principals that are filming, but there's always a unit operating. There could even be a third unit operating.
Right.
So you're constantly filming. There's never ever a day during production that there's no filming.
Yeah.
There is always filming, and that also includes night shoots as well. So if you can cram in a few night shoots, or if there's stuff that you can do on a sound stage that you can do at night because it's a controlled environment, you
Yep.
control the lighting and everything. You're not dependent
What's the
on
name of the
weather.
person who organises all of that?
The production manager.
It's a production manager. Okay.
Yeah, and the person that schedules is the first assistant director. So the person who schedules it all is the first AD, which is a really, really hard job. It's an incredibly hard job. But the production manager is the person that is the organizer or the line producer.
So directing is much more of a team effort than it would appear from when you see anything to do with the film. Then,
Mm.
because obviously people always think, oh, director, vision, all that kind of stuff. But if you've got all these other people as well, then
Yeah,
it's more of a team effort, really.
it really is. It's exactly a team effort. Yeah. I mean, look, if anyone's looking to make a film, the best way to go about it is if you want the minimum amount of people on the set, right? Right. So the bare bones of a crew would be a good production manager, a good first AD, a good director of photography or cinematographer or lighting cameraman, whatever term you want to use to call them,
Yeah.
and a good script editor. Sorry, not good script editor, script supervisor. I apologize.
Okay.
Script supervisor or scripty. That's the person that's in charge of all of the continuity all the way through the production.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
they're the person that's the person who takes all of the keynotes and everything. So they keep the director informed of absolutely everything. They keep the director of photography absolutely informed of everything. The first assistant director is kept, again, they have all of that information, so they know what they're shooting. So that small kind of group of key people, those are the best people or the key people on any production. Production
Oh,
manager,
cool.
first AD, cinematographer, script supervisor. They're the most important people, regardless of what a lot of people say. Oh yeah, well, the most important person on the set is actually the caterer. Well, it's not, because you can still film without catering.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not, it's not like, because you can always send out for pizza,
Yeah.
you can always send out for burgers.
You need the structure. You need the
Yeah, yeah,
core of the
yeah,
film.
exactly, yeah.
It's a
But
good thing I didn't have Lance on here. Be like, no, he's the catering. You're
yeah,
wrong, mate. You're wrong.
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I would disagree with that. I don't think the caterer is. There's no doubt about it. On a big production, catering is very important. Yeah, you have to feed you have to feed your cast and crew.
Yeah, but I don't see the
However,
choice of caterer influencing the outcome of the movie that much.
that's
Yeah.
exactly that. It's exactly that. Um, you will never get a good production if you don't have a good first AD.
Mm.
You'll never have a good production if you don't have a good cinematographer, or if you have a good production manager, or if you have a good script supervisor.
And like you said, like about they always had to have this some kind of good form of communication.
Yeah,
I'm guessing stuff at Marvel and Disney are not doing that anymore. There's
that's
No,
barely
they're terrible at it.
absolutely
communication
it. Yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah, yeah. You're
Absolutely
right.
atrocious.
Yeah, and I think um, what you're saying is that both of you are saying is absolutely correct, and you couldn't be more correcter if you tried. There is zero communication between second unit and first unit. There's zero communication between any of the departments. So it seems, and it appears to me that the only reason that Marvel movies have previs is in order to show that previs to the studio executives in order to get approval on those shots,
Yeah,
rather than it being a previs for the CG artist, the VFX
yeah,
artist.
which is exactly what it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Exactly.
they're basically using it as a show reel to go, oh, this is what,
Yeah.
this is what we're thinking of, this is what we're going to look like.
Yeah.
But the poor animator doesn't have a clue until way later in the once everything's been sort of filmed. And then they're like, right, okay, you've done this. Oh, we don't quite like that. We need you to change it. Oh, and by the way, we need you to do it by next week. So it's going to look like shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, how many times do we know that has been the case? I mean,
Exactly.
countless times, and that's why we get some really, really crappy CG in a lot of these movies. You know, but also,
Nick wants to ask you, when was the last time you worked in the industry, and how much did it change during your working career?
how much has it changed? Well, still doing it. I can't say what on yet.
Yeah, because it's all legal, isn't it? And
Yeah.
there's contracts as well, and and what
and
last thing I
NDAs
want
and
you
stuff.
to do is to lose your job.
But it's massively altered. I mean, it is hugely altered. I mean, when I first started, everything was shot on 16 and 35 mil, so you could actually hear the money rolling through the camera, and it was used to be a very, very noisy set. Everything being practical is great. The only thing that's that, for all intents and purposes, nothing has changed, but it's the tools and the methods. Also, I say nothing's changed. Also, the atmosphere on sets has altered dramatically. You know, I mean, really, really altered. There's, it's now, it's a different environment. It's a completely different environment as to what it used to be. There are all kinds of sensitivities and sensibilities that you
Oh
have to
God,
be
yeah.
aware of. So it's a totally, totally different environment from back in the 80s on my first production. But in terms of the actual process, it's really just the tools that have changed. So rather than working with 35 and 16 mil, we're working with predominantly digital, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either. The reason it's not necessarily a bad thing is because you can whiz through something. You know, you have that luxury um, of no wastage. So all you have is a card. So you have a memory card.
Yes, yeah.
So there is no wastage.
No physical film being
No
wasted.
physical film being and also it's time. You know, so you have the luxury of time. So nothing has to go straight off and to the processing labs. Whereas what used to happen, obviously, once you get, one of the film cartridges is finished, it gets sealed up, and at the end of the day, everything's shipped off or couriered off to the labs. So the labs will do the first development of those or process those. So you get the first neg off. So the following morning, prior to the next day's shoot, then you'd have a screening. You could have them at the end of the day if it was really, really rushed through.
Right, yeah.
But that process is incredibly expensive. It's an incredibly expensive and time-consuming process. But it's not necessarily a good thing because there are certain parts of the art form that have actually been lost.
This is what I was going to say. Further to Nick's point, do you feel that part of the heart and soul has been lost due to these technological advances? Because I know I will always remember that scene of Ian McKellen breaking down in front of a green screen because there was nobody for him to act off of. There was nobody for him to interact with, and it must feel very I don't know how to describe it, really empty.
It's very weird. It's one of the weirdest things actually being on a set when that it's going to be entirely CG. So on a full green screen or blue screen set, it's one of the weirdest things, because you know that people have to react to, or you're shooting actors that are supposed to be reacting to things within an environment that doesn't physically exist. Is very, very odd. That's why things like the volume that Disney have been using for
Oh,
their
and it's
TV
so
series, which
obvious
I
as
think is,
well.
just dreadful. I think it's
Yeah.
Just
dreadful.
churn and shout for the sake of churning out shit. It's
But actors need something to
Mm.
react to. They need an environment
Mm.
to be in.
Especially the thespians. You
Yeah.
know, we might have a generation of actors coming who are able to work without that,
Mm.
but you know, classic actors that drive off of another actor's performance to
Yeah.
work their own performance. I
Yeah.
feel so sorry for them.
Yeah. And also, it's, as you say, if they're a real kind of thespian, if they're kind of been brought, come up through the theatre and everything, they're still used to acting on stage on a set.
Mm, yeah.
The set is, as everyone will know, is basically short for setting, as prop is short for property. So if what you're doing is, if you're eliminating your setting, you know, um, yeah, literally, almost all of the artistry has been lost there. It's disappeared. It's gone. If
Mm.
you're in a fake environment, I mean, it's all very well having fake environments and having the ability to create fake environments, but it does nothing for the performances.
No, no,
You know,
absolutely not. In fact, I would
it,
think, if anything, it probably subtracts from them because, as you say, you don't have that. You know, they're professionals, so they do their job and
yeah,
everything, but you don't have that 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 feedback, I
mm,
suppose.
yeah, yeah, precisely. I mean, to be to be on one of these sets, on a physically created, constructed, designed, and meticulously crafted sets is one of the most wonderful experiences that you could have in working in the film and television industry.
Yeah,
It's
because it makes it more massive, doesn't it? It's not
Yeah,
just like a big lot of green fucking walls and that's it. You're looking at something that's real and genuine, and
Not just that, I think you get a right a proper taste for, like, and it's going to sound cliche, but the magic.
yeah,
mm, yeah,
yeah,
atmosphere as well.
yeah,
It gives atmosphere as well, depending on
yeah.
what the scenery is.
Yeah,
And it really is. It's all of the above. It is magic, and it is immersive, and it is atmosphere. It's all of those things. And there's an excitement when you get onto a set, or you see a set that's under construction, or you see the set for the first time. And you get onto a set and you think, shit, we're shooting on this. This is fucking amazing. To have some of these incredible artists and designers that have
mm,
created these fantastic pieces of art, and they
yeah.
really are works of art,
Oh god, yeah. I mean,
works of
art design is so
architecture.
important. I
Yeah,
go back again to something like Lord of the Rings,
yeah,
and the fact that they got John Howe and Alan Lee in
yep,
to do like the architecture and the
yep,
scenery, and
yep,
it just makes it brings it to life. And as you correctly say, these days with volume and green screen, even the environments can seem so lifeless
mm,
because they haven't got that touch. They haven't got
yeah,
that person who's literally gone with an airbrush and, you know,
yeah,
done that human touch and that human error and
mm,
randomness for
yeah,
something that would be CGI generated.
yeah. And now, because we have obviously HD, Ultra HD, 4K, whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
obviously,
yeah, that's
obviously,
it's just
obviously,
AI images, isn't it? It's just an AI
yeah,
simulation that's smoothing up the images and just making it look even more
Oh, the
fake.
scaling on
yeah,
some of the latest 4Ks is really bad. Like
yeah.
the amount of information that's being lost.
Yeah, that's right. For everything they claim that we're gaining, we're losing an awful lot more. But
Mm,
where I'm going with this is that because of everything's in HD, so we can see everything so we can see everything very, very clearly on screen, right? And we've all got, these lovely HD TVs and wonderful pictures and what have you. So whenever anything's shot on digital, when you see the set, right, so everything has to be even more meticulously created than it used to be for when things were shot on
yes.
35 and 16 mil. Um, I mean,
It's
you
a
could
lot
get
less
away with,
forgiving, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's precisely the word, forgiving. I mean, 35 and 16 mil, particularly 16 mil. Um, you have different grades of film, different grades of film stock, and each of those grades of film stock has either a faster or slower exposure time.
Hmm.
And you will need a certain amount of lighting for certain film stocks and different lighting for another film stock. This is where the director of photography comes in. So he will know what film stocks are being used and what lighting is required for those film stocks, and exactly what effect you'll
Gotcha.
get from lighting those particular film stocks. So it's not just lenses and distances and composition. There's an enormous amount of mathematics and physics involved in what a DOP does. It's so much simpler now with digital photography.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
We're coming down to the end of the show now, so
yeah. Sorry, we're hitting 10:30.
no, it's all right. No, it's good to know this stuff as well, and it's always good to have you on. And but we'll come now to the final thoughts of Tomb Raider. So, Critical, take it away. Final thoughts.
This is a film that knows exactly what its audience wanted, and it delivered it. The writing is not good. I cannot say, even as the most amateur of film critics, that the writing in this film is good. But it does have some decent characters. It does have some decent action. And it just holds up as an example of its time. It's also more interesting than the more recent Tomb Raider film that they tried to make. So while it has its flaws, and I hadn't actually seen it, I mean, I might have caught it on TV at one point, but I don't remember seeing it since it came out of the cinemas. Yeah, it was all right. I perfectly enjoyed it. I think Angelina Jolie does a good job as Lara Croft. I think actually the acting in general is pretty good across the board. I think some of the character dynamics are quite good, and I think it's got some great scenes, really great scenes. But as a film overall, with the script and everything, it is flawed as hell.
Yep.
Enjoyed it. You could put it down as a guilty pleasure, I suppose.
Yeah. So no, it's all right. That's because I do actually agree with a lot of what you have to say as well, and it kind of goes back to the Sam and West cut. I'll go on more about that in a minute. I'll let Inside Man have his final thoughts on it as well, even though you worked on it. But
he has his bias.
Yeah. I mean, there is
that Henson guy. He was amazing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I suppose there is a little bit of a bias because I'm looking at it from the point of view of, I enjoyed my time on it. It was, it was a pretty extraordinary time, and it was a lot of fun, a real great amount of fun. However, I can't lie, I was actually very disappointed when I saw the film for the first time at the cinema. I was really disappointed. Look, taking nothing away from any of the performances or anything like that. And the action set pieces are pretty good. The CG for their time, it's pretty good. It's not bad. But I've got to agree with Critical. I mean, there are some pretty big sort of plot flaws and story flaws, and little.
Yeah, I agree. I do
bits,
agree.
yeah.
There is a lot that hold it back from being the greatest video game adaptation ever, but it's
still the most profitable though.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and it was still the best out of a bad lot, or a lot that didn't have the same standard as what we fans wanted in a video game adaptation, especially with Super Mario and Resident Evil and Silent Hill and stuff like that.
I would really like to have seen the big Simon West cut. I know that obviously anything over 2 hours is ridiculous for this kind of a film, but I think I would have just liked to have seen it. I would like to have seen what it could have been. Could it have been worse?
I would like to have seen just a couple of scenes put in to add more context to some of the stuff that really felt like they were missing something to, like a few setups to have their payoffs. And if I think there was that fine line between keeping it well paced, but at the same time leaving in some of the stuff Simon West didn't want cut out, I think it would have been better, because I think Simon West did have a lot of potential to make this better than what we got. But from what we do have, it's still a fun flick, and I still love watching it every time. On a Saturday, if I want to have a few beers, something easy to pass the time with. And
it's kind of it, isn't it? I mean, I was watching it and I was thinking, look, I know this is bad, but I am enjoying it, kind of thing. And not just because I'm a youngster and it's Angelina Jolie and she's wearing lots of tight stuff. So as I say, it is very much what it is. It is a product of its time.
It's a better one, yeah. And unfortunately, this is where the show must end now. So
before you end it, what's next week?
Next week, I think it's No Country for Old Men. I'll have to look at the
Oh
God.
my God.
Dude,
and when
you can
Toxic
have,
will
you
be
can
in
have,
there.
it's like, you know, here's Falling Down and here's 2001's Tomb Raider, and then you know,
I know. I just fucking throw
What an amazing piece of work.
incredible film.
But
Oh,
Make sure
yeah.
you tune in next week for
I-
that, guys. It's going to be amazing.
I think
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you, Toxic. This is really his bag. This is his thing.
Yeah. Plus, he's
Make
a
sure you
big
get
book
in.
reader as well. I've read the book as well, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
they're
not
both
read the
Looks
book.
good.
back as each other.
Yeah, books
It is an
good.
amazing film.
Very good. Yeah,
And the
amazing film.
performances in it are just, I mean,
Oh yeah,
wow, chilling. Absolutely chilling.
truly,
I know.
truly.
But yeah, thanks for joining me, Critical. Thank you, Inside Man. Fandad and
Pleasure.
Beardy Bro couldn't be here, and there's no hard feelings. I mean, you enjoy your time as well, and
How dare they have social lives? It's absolutely disgraceful, I tell you. No, it's been a blast as always.
Are we still on?
I was going to say, I presume we're going down the path.
the toxic fucking World War Jaws. Well, Nick's, you've brought us many great comments on here, man. You always do. Your roasting is always appreciated to humble us before we get up our own asses. Artie as well, thank you. I've already mentioned Blue Collar and Ghost and the Craig, thank you. And yeah, I'm really appreciated that you joined us here to listen to us just talk a lot of bollocks about a pretty entertaining film. But yeah, this is where we end now. So whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for joining us. And remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and ring that bell to be further updated. And do the same for my fan regulars here. And this will be the last of the Bastard streams because next week it's going to be renamed the League of Retro Sparta Menace Bastards. So because these aren't just like regular guests for me now, these are like regular panelists now. You know, these are my regulars now, and I don't want them to just have them as guests. So they're like co-hosts to me now.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, so I will
Go ahead.
see you all. Yeah, so I will catch you all on the next few streams that I'm usually scheduled to be on, and I will try and get the next video. Oh yeah, before we go, what's your upcoming video, Critical?
I will be doing a review of Twister, the sequel. And I'm also going to do a video, Nix will like this, on Star Trek Continues, because I hate speaking about shit Star Trek, and I want to talk about some good Star Trek.
Is that the YouTube ones that showed up
It was
some
one
years
that Vic Mignogna did.
Yeah.
He cast himself as Kirk, and it's like an unofficial season 4. And I
that'd
can't
be
wait
good,
to talk
that,
about
yeah.
them.
I need to see Twisters, and I want to try and see Trapped as well, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, because according to Blue, and Tyler Wolf, it's really, really typical Shyamalan stupidity that's also entertaining. So I'm gonna have to get on that. And Critical, what have you got upcoming next?
I just told you, you meant Inside Man.
Oh yeah, Inside Man, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got the Spartacus stream on Sunday on the Outcast Creative channel. So we're doing episodes 3 and 4. Blue Collar Loser is going to be on that. History Bro, and obviously that's Lance's stream. So so looking forward to doing that and pulling that, pulling the legs off that particular spider. Let's just say, because I'm not enjoying it as much as I remembered. As much I kind of remembered it being a lot better than that. But
It's far because I heard it went to hell after season 2. Because didn't the lead actor tragically die of cancer or something?
yes,
he
he did.
Yeah, he died very young.
Yeah. So and then
I
of
heard
course,
it wasn't as good after that. Basically, kind of had that. See, it's hard.
yeah. And then, of course, doing the Nielsen ratings, and I've actually got 3 pretty unusual little weird gems that I'm going to be talking about on that.
Oh, sweet.
I look forward to that. I'll try and catch it on Sunday. Yeah, they're always good, them as well. So yeah, thanks for joining us, and yeah, thanks for promoting. And like I said, do check out my friends' channels if you haven't already. I'm sure you already have, but still, or share them amongst people that haven't seen their channels yet. And remember to like.
If you see something and you like it, I think sharing it is really important.
Yeah, do really share it as well.
The algorithm is so brutal.
It is.
It really, really is. So
Yeah, it's
if
fucking
you
weird,
think
the
you
algorithm.
like it, and you think your mate might like it, give it a share. It's appreciated a lot.
Yeah, so now we're in now, and you enjoy your weekends, everyone, as well. Do enjoy. And I'll
Yeah,
catch
good
you
one,
all
guys.
later.